Exponential Mum 2023. So this is good evening from this part of the world. So for you, it might be good morning, good afternoon. We are highly delighted to have you join us for Exponential Mum 2023. This is the unveiling of Mother's Heaven. Like, I am super, super excited. It is happening. It is today. It is here. It is happening. Wow. Have you checked out the list, like the lineup of our panelists and our keynote speaker? We are ready. Like, if you know that I know, like, you know that we are here for the hard meet. So I'm very, very excited. I would love to meet you. Where are you joining us from? Please just go to the comment section and drop it there. Just tell us your name and your location where you are joining us from. I am excited. I am delighted. Like, I just know that my dear sister Tope has been working on this project for a very, very long time. And I'm so excited to see it come to reality. Like, she's betting something big. Evelyn is joining us from the UK. Thank you so much, Coach Evelyn. We're excited to have you join us this evening. Yeah, for me it's this evening. So this is me. I am Dr. Elisha, and I am going to be your anchor for this evening. And I'm joining you from Akure, Nigeria. So just let me know, where are you? Oh, Ali is joining us from China. Oh my God, how is China? Yanila is joining us from UK. Rita is joining from Lagos, Nigeria. Oh my God. Please, please, please keep dropping it. Let it keep coming. Just tell us your location, where you're joining us from. And I know you have mothers within your network. Aside mothers, you have intending moms within your network. This is Exponential Mom 2023. We cannot afford that people within our network miss that house. No, this is going to be a transforming experience for all of us and everyone that is going to be on this call this evening. So please, let's get more people on board. Just go share it on that group. Do a reminder to that friend. Do a reminder to that sister. Drop it on your WhatsApp status. It is starting. It is already on. We are live. It is Exponential Mom 2023. And we are here. Oh my God, I'm excited. Please, if you're excited as I am, please just go drop it on your status, your WhatsApp status. Go do that follow-up on that group. Remind people it is time. Toyosi from Lagos, it's good to see you, Toyosi. I'm excited to have you here this evening. Thank you so, so much. Like, when I joined the call, I was just so excited. Like, I always saw people, they've already joined. I was like, oh, this is so interesting. Wow, thank you for joining once again, and you're highly welcome. So if you're just joining us, please just drop on the comment section where you're. Debbie from Abuja. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you for joining us. Just drop it on the comment section, your name and where you're joining us from. Sorry. Okay, so I know we all have expectations. Oh, hell, thank you so much. How is Ghana today? Yes, our neighbors. My neighbor from Ghana is here. That's exciting. Thank you. Okay, Lagos is here. Oh, I'm loving this. Like, Nigerians, we are fully represented. Thank you for joining. Thank you once again for joining. Please just go drop a reminder on the group chat. Drop a reminder for that friend, for that sister, for that mother that you know needs to be here. This is Exponential Mom 2023, and we are glad to have you join us this evening. Thank you so, so much. Let's do it. Go do the reminder. Drop it on your WhatsApp status. It's Exponential Mom 2023, and we are live. So let's be open-minded a lot. Like, when you see the lineup of speakers or more, the lineup of our panelists or more, you know that we are not here to joke. This is real business. And I know you have expectations. So just tell me, what are your expectations for today's experience? For me, I'm very open-minded. I'm here to learn, to relearn and unlearn. I'm just here to drink. I'm in for the transformational experience. So what is it for you? What are you open to take out of this life-changing encounter this evening or for it can be this morning or this afternoon. It is yeah, sorry, I'm back. So it's Exponential Mum 2023. Um, and I think our host is ready for us. Our panelists, they are all ready, and our keynote speaker is ready. So are you excited? Please drop it on the comment section. What are your expectations? Yeah. So what are your expectations from today's meeting? So what are you hoping to get from this experience? Hello. So what are you hoping to get from this experience? Transformation and light, connection. Thank you so much for sharing that. So you're here for the connection, you're here for transformation and light. Thank you so, so much for sharing that. So I just want one more person before we call our chief host to give us the opening remark. So before topic comes up, just one more person. So what is your expectation? Okay, connections, light, wisdom, and strategies. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So this is where we call our chief host, my dear friend, the executive director of Mothers Haven, and she's no other person than Timi Tokpe Falade Adewibige. Please put your hands together and help me celebrate this wonderful woman of God. Please just with an emoji, with your favorite emoji, just celebrate this woman as she come up. Yes, I am excited. Please, let's go there. Let's show her some love. She is the reason why we are here. Yes, Tokwe made this happen. We are here because God gave her this vision and she was bold enough to bet it. And we're excited. We're here to celebrate our sister. Please show her some love. Just celebrate her. Tokwe, over to you.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes. Yes, we can.
Loud and clear.
Thank you so much, everyone. I'm truly honored and grateful to God for the grace to be here at this time, because I know it's morning in Australia, it's afternoon in the US, and evening in Nigeria. So at whatever time it is you're joining us from, I'm grateful to God that you're alive and you're here to launch the Mothers Haven Network. And basically, this platform was born as an avenue to be able to reach out to moms, to help moms connect to solutions, because a lot of mothers out there go through various pain points, go through various circumstances, go through various issues and challenges that actually have solutions in the hands of other mothers like them. And in some circumstances, some of these issues are actually avoidable if we actually have the right information, if we actually have the right resources, the right people, the networks, and the right partnerships to be able to help us to scale through the seeming rocks, through the seeming limitations and barriers, and basically also help us scale through excuses. And it's so important that we connect to communities like this, and we connect to wisdom that can actually help us be better people, be better mothers, and be impactful and be able to thrive in our world. So here today we have amazing lineups of Exponential Moms, both the panelists, the keynote speaker, and you yourself that is present here. You are exponential, you are diverse, you're amazing, you are intentional because, yes, you are here today. And I appreciate you for prioritizing yourself. I appreciate you for prioritizing your goals. I appreciate you for prioritizing your dreams and also showing for yourself. And you'll be hearing from various perspectives today. You'll be hearing from moms who have actually gone through various circumstances in their lives, but regardless, who have gone through various circumstances in their lives, regardless of their position, regardless of their businesses, their careers, and every aspect of their life. You're going to be hearing from single moms, you're going to be hearing from moms with children, as a child with a special need. You're going to be hearing from moms in ministry. You're going to be hearing a mom who has been a full-time mom, and you're going to learn from their points and practical you rise. You're going to be able to apply, implement, and then soar you are here today. And I'm truly honored to be your host. Um, after this event or after this launch and this unveiling, I would really I would really be grateful to God. I would also be grateful to you for being able to accept this call, to accept this charge, and step up and rise to impact your world. So after next voice you'll be hearing will be our keynote speaker, a woman who I so much, who I honor, who has impacted my life as well. And we'll be having our bio come up, and then she'll be giving us a charge to commence this event. Thank you so much for being here. God bless.
She has coached many. Deborah David is a chartered accountant and a certified social and emotional intelligence coach. She has coached many C-level executives on work-life integration through self-awareness and goal-setting techniques. As a trainer, she helps career professionals build the right mindset for thriving in the workplace. She's an inspiring public speaker who has featured on local and international panels, conferences, and events. She was awarded Top 50 Women in Management in Africa in 2022. She also bagged the Nigerian Achievement Award in Financial Management and Accounting. She is the author of the best-selling books titled ABC Tools for the Workplace, The Confident Woman, and Work Easy, Proven Strategies to Rise Quickly to the Peak of Your Career and Build Thought Leadership. She has featured in newspapers, local and international TV, and radio platforms. Deborah is a writer and contributor to the accounting and business magazine of ACCA UK. She holds a bachelor's degree in economics from Olabisi Onabanjo University, Nigeria, and a certificate in business analytics from Columbia Business School, New York. She's an RST scholar and an alumna of Wharton Business School of the University of Pennsylvania in Sid, France, Lagos Business School, and the Institute of Directors, UK. She is a distinguished fellow of the Association of Corporate Governance Professionals, a fellow of the Certified Chartered Accredited Financial Analyst from American Academy of Financial Managers, a chartered member of the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, Nigerian Institute Management, and the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators. She is the founder of Deborah David Consulting, incorporated in the USA and offering corporate training, executive coaching, and consulting services. She is the current Chief Financial Officer at African Seco Pollution Management Limited. Before African Seco Pollution Management Limited, she has worked in MTN Nigeria, KPMG, Centrica Energy, and GSK. She is the founder of Workplace Channel, where she has been acting as a career mentor to young professionals and female executives since 2012. She is an associate and a volunteer mentor at Women in Management, Business and Public Service and other groups. She serves regularly as a resource person for initiatives focusing on modeling Africans emerging leaders, advocacy for women empowerment, and youth employability.
Yes, so over to you, Madam Deborah David.
I think it's not good. All right. You're going to manage my lighting because I'm at an hotel in Port Harcourt. I couldn't say no to this event. That you hear me. Let me see if I have better lighting here. No. Is anyone here who can hear me actually?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay,
We just can't see you.
Yes, I know you won't see me properly, and I have to be careful with this data as well. Okay, good.
That's
better
much
now.
better. Much better.
Great. Thank you for having me here, and then thank you all for valuing knowledge so much so that you can show up on a Sunday evening. Actually, thank you for that bio. I was trying to wonder who whose bio was being read. I also forgot that one thing was missing in that bio, and that is that I'm a mother also of 3 wonderful nations, so that we know that I'm part of you. There are a lot of people who believe that the reasons that women move forward, achieve greatness, and do exponential things is because they don't have limitations, boundaries, or they don't have to change diapers or take children to school or nurse children at infancy with pregnancy and all that. So I've gone through motherhood by the grace of God, because we don't control it. God does give it to us. So I'm happy to be here to share. And the summary of what I'm going to share with you is let your music play. Whatever music is in your heart, allow it to play. Don't allow circumstance to bind you. Don't allow environment to define you. Don't give too much power to culture that are negative and unkind to the gender of womanhood. I know there are a lot of places where women have enjoyed support. And I'm also aware that there is a rising attention and awareness for women in these days. Yes, you will hear United Nations say a lot of things about women. Some programs say women in business. There are other programs that are packaged to create funding for women who are in business. So we will not pretend that those things are not happening. Most times the limitations that we see, they are actually coming from within. I am not by any means underestimating the kind of imposition of biases that the society has against women. Now that is forgivable. What is not forgivable is how a woman defines herself and what level of expression a woman thinks she can have. Because once there is a will, there is a way. Kamala Harris is the Vice President of the United States. And you want to say a lot of things about, is it the color of her skin? You want to talk about the fact that she's Asian American? You could list a whole lot of barriers. Plenty things that happened in the past, but people had been resolute and resilient. Barack Obama came as the President of America one time, and his wife, Michelle Obama, you can never tell. If you ever mention anything Obama in this world and you say, I don't know his wife, it's not possible. She found her voice. She created a niche. She had a charisma. I'm trying to give you a picture of a woman who is exponential, whose definition does not come from outside, but is coming from within. Your possibilities actually is limited by your mindset and the level of vision, the level of expression, the level of allowance that you give to yourself in allowing you to bring your solutions to the world. I was happy to see the theme Exponential Mum, and I know that what this means is at the end of the day, you're probably going to be in a community of support where being an exponential mom, you will have access to questions, you can answer, you can do one thing or the other. I know that to be exponential as a woman may take more effort than it is for men. I am not going to ignore that aspect because they don't have menstruation to cope with. They don't have pregnancy for 9 months to cope with. They don't have vomiting to cope with. They also don't have breastfeeding at infancy to cope with. It is a woman that has all of those attributes naturally. And that, again, puts a lot of pressure and responsibility on a woman. And therefore, as a wise woman or an exponential woman, a woman who wants to break boundaries, a woman who wants to explode, a woman who wants to birth solutions into the world, a woman who wants to be easily recognized, not just because of popularity fare, but for the level of achievement and solutions they brought into the world, for the level of impact that their giftings and talents has produced for the community and the entire globe. History is packed full of women who broke the boundaries. In fact, the society is kinder now to women than it was in the days of Olufunlayo and some Kuti. Women who said, no, we will not allow extortion here. Those were the days that women don't come out. Those were the days that you do not have a voice to speak. If you go down in history, there were places that women were not even allowed to come outside the house. If a visitor came, you go inside straight away. But we've seen people stand out. In the days of NSAS, bringing examples back home, you will realize that there was a statue that I saw that people were using of a lady. I think her name is Yusuf. What's her name? Can someone type it in the chat for something? What's the name of this very wonderful lady who gave a lot of expression to the Aisha Yusufu? Yes. Now, that is not to endorse anything that anybody did or no. What I'm just saying is, you would have said religion and culture should have prevented somebody from giving expression to the music in their heart. And that's why I'm trying to say that you might say, oh, that part of the world or this part of the world, Africa is not like that. We have a culture that women should keep quiet. In fact, some people read the Bible the other way around and say, Paul commanded women not to even speak in the church. That's partial knowledge of what that scripture is talking about. So whatever that is, I am here to challenge you. Go beyond limitation. Go beyond excuses. Before you point accusing finger at the political laws or whatever laws are in the society that do not permit women to rise, before you start shouting, give women more opportunity on the board, give women more opportunities, more seats on the board, make women more vice chancellors. We need to see more women at the House of Assembly. You know, we say a lot of things, but when those positions open, will they find you ready? They are not going to give it to you because you're a woman. They are not going to dash you things because you're a mother. There is a level of dexterity. There's an expression, there is a level of respect that you command by the kind of solutions you're bringing to the world. Everybody will not be an activist, so that you don't think I'm thinking about that. Mother Teresa was a woman. She found her niche. She wanted to care for the poor, and she allowed the music in her heart to play. She expressed her gift. She expressed her solutions. She brought to the world an historical activity that is difficult for history to forget. What is your own music? Is it tech? Is it fashion? Is it music? I mean, women are breaking grounds in music. Unbelievable sounds are coming from Africa. So if you ever find yourself at a level where you're not comfortable with, my challenge to you, before you point accusing finger at your mother, who you thought put a limitation on you, we can forgive your mother. Your mother trained you to the level of knowledge and the degree of exposure at a time. Don't worry, it's our parents that cause problems for women. They'll be telling them, go to the kitchen, cook properly, cook properly. You are going to end up in a man's house. It's this kind of wrong culture that they gave to women. I've heard a lot. I was at an interview yesterday on a radio station talking about women as well and advancement. And I said, a lot have been said. Yes. What your mother did up until this point, she has tried. That's what she knows. How much knowledge are you exposing yourself to allow your gifts and talents to come out? If you are going to start pointing accusing finger at your mom, at your dad, at society, at the kings in your palaces, and everybody else who had told you couldn't do it, yes, you will be right. But what will be very, very tragic is the fact that you will not leave your footprint in the sand of time. And I don't have anybody like that in this place. You want to do your PhD, go ahead. Go beyond your excuses. Don't say you don't have finance. Find finance by all means. Someone was speaking to me a few days ago, 2 days ago, and said, thank God I did this personality profile test, which I did to her. I was taking her on coaching. And she was shocked at what kind of blind spot she had about the things we were explaining on the test profile results. And she said to me, but Kojidi, it's almost like people can't afford this thing. That's why they are not doing it. This thing you are telling me now, if I knew 5 years ago, I would have gone far. I said, that's it. So take responsibility for your life. If you knew it 5 years ago, there's no problem. The best time to know what to know is now. You can start from here and forward. Don't say, I'm a single parent. Don't say, the label I was given is this. The label I was given is that. Nobody is going to take responsibility for that. Coming back to motherhood, motherhood is a gracious thing, because if you don't have the correct mindset about the concept of motherhood, we have tendency to misspell, misdirect, misexplain, misdefine. You say, mother, it's a lot of work. Before you do this, you carry everything. No. You are right, but you're not entirely correct. Because once your mind is working in a particular way, once you are getting renewed, you read biographies, autobiographies, allow people's stories to challenge you. Because sometimes the way you renew your mind, I am a person of the Bible, so I must quote one scripture before I go, even if I don't give you so many. He said, do not be conformed to this world, but be ye renewed, right? Be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind. So transformation comes. That means transformation. You were formed in a way. Your mother formed you in a way. By the way, I went to school in one of the areas in Lagos that if I call the place, you will say, what did I go to do at Pennsylvania? How did I enter New York? Why have I been around the world? I grew up in Mushin. So if I'm looking at how people should behave and act and see life, it is different from the life I'm living now. So when you are transformed, it means you are formed in another way than you used to be formed. So that's why I say you can't blame your parents. You can't blame the home video you have been watching, where they told you the only responsibility of mothers is to look after children and do homework. Great and excellent services, profitable now and in eternity. So that even in your old age, your children are responsible adults with the right culture, respectful, and doing great things, and they give you peace of mind. I agree mothers should be involved in the lives of their children and should offer the service that only motherhood can deliver. For example, breastfeeding. No matter what you do, you will not be able to outsource it. You can't. You will be the one to do it. However, there are several other things that with appropriate coaching, mentoring, and support system, like this Mothers Havens Network, you will be able to get some things done on a lighter note. Now, technology has come as a disruption, and it has two-edged sword. As it's displacing some, it's elevating the other. You will tell me ChatGPT has come, artificial intelligence is here, this is here, the other one is here, social media is here, the other one is here. In those days, when I was writing my project in school for first degree in economics, I had to go physically to CBN. That was when they just moved to Abuja. 1999 was when I completed my first degree. I had to go to Abuja. I got a lot of magazine, inflation, industry, poverty rate, everything. Came to Abeokuta because I was doing agriculture, a partnership for poverty alleviation in Nigeria. Went to University of Agriculture in Abeokuta. I was moving around. Fast forward till today, I can write a 25,000 word thesis only on my laptop. Can somebody confirm if that is right or wrong? There's a body of knowledge. There's exponential data. Even the textbooks, all the books you used to go to bookshop to go and buy in those days, they are all downloaded. You can buy it. So to be educated is to be technology savvy. If you don't have technology to anything you're doing, you are not educated. You're still an illiterate of the first century. I'm sorry if it offends you. So one of the ways to give exponentiality is to leverage technology. The world has gone far. But don't even rush with the world. First sit down and identify your own sound, your music. You don't want to be somebody when you are not. If you are not a socialite, if you are an introvert like me, for example, you will have a way of doing your own thing. And you can only thrive in your authenticity. I don't want to be like Temitope. I don't want to be like Maya Angelou. I don't want to be like Oprah Winfrey. I want to be Deborah David. I want to work with my own style. I want to do life, impact my world in the way that I can, that I've been equipped to do it, with my skills, with my talent, with my natural tendencies. And that brings me to, what can you do from here forward? I know there are a lot of people on this call who have gone further than all these things I'm discussing. They've broken bounds. I mean, I saw the lineup of speakers and I realized that women really are catching up very seriously. But in case there's someone here who has moved from one level to this level and is thinking, there's more, there's more, there's more. Where is the way to more? Where is the way to more? Becoming an exponential mom, where there is a perfect integration. I won't say balance, because there's not really balance. I say work-life balance. Where is the balance? There are seasons in a woman's life. The activity of a woman with 4-year-old kids, 6-year-old kids, 10-year-old kids, and an empty nester like me, whose kids are all out in school, they will be different. So understand your season. Number one. Number two, embrace self-awareness. Know yourself before you start growing, because you may be growing the wrong version of who you are. You have a picture in your mind. There's somebody you admire and you want to live the life of that person. Maybe you don't have enough strength, tenacity, energy, support structure. You probably don't even have the skill. Things that somebody will do very easily. Someone asked me, have you been able to write 4 books? How? You're a CFO. Even CFO is work. Are you able to coach other people? Are you able to train other people? Because I'm doing life with my authentic personality. I express my gift and my talent, where I fit and where I contribute. I don't have to stress. I understand what my environment can allow me to. And that's why sometimes most people, they try, they fail. And I will encourage you to be in a community. Number 3, don't do life alone. Because there are blind spots to life, to yourself. There are things you don't know. It's someone else that will tell you, but you can move this direction. You can go like this, right? Be in a community. Ensure that you have constant network. Number 4, create a support system. If you want to move further, whatever level you are, you want to go further. Whatever level you are starting from, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Don't start regretting. Don't start pointing fingers. From here forward, you can move. I mean, God called Abraham at the age of 75. You will have said that's a retirement age. He should have forgotten about it. He should be collecting his pension. What is he looking for? You are right. But wherever you start, it's your morning. Wherever you start, it's your base. So forgive yourself and be kind. Leave all of those things. Move from where you are and then continue to take one step at a time. One of the ways you can do that is also to ensure that you read books. What books does is to bring knowledge to you. You read mistakes of somebody who got right after 20 years of trying something in error, and you have the privilege to read this in 20 minutes or 20 hours under one day, and you can self-correct. And why books are easy is because they are very, very objective. The author does not know you personally. So you can read it and take the portion that relates to you, because it won't be everything that will relate to you. So your target is to continue to transform your mind. You are at level 10 in 2022, aim for level 100. 100, move to 1,000. Then there's enough space on this planet Earth for 8 billion people. No, they won't believe me. In fact, they will say, where did you start doing this? I wanted to be a speaker like you. Someone told me, I want to be a speaker. I said, me too, I wanted to be a speaker for a long time, until I told myself I can do it. So I said, why are you not a speaker? They will say, what does he have to say? I said, why are you concerned about that? If they don't understand you in Lagos, there are people in Ibadan who didn't know you how you grew. They didn't see you cross the street and carry a colo inside gutter. They cannot despise you. Even Jesus was despised. He said, is that not the son of carpenter? What's he talking about? Get her from here. He couldn't do mighty works in his own country. Why are you bothered? If they don't like you in Lagos or they know you too much in Agege, go straight to Ibadan, go to Port Harcourt, go and host a meeting. Express your gift. Let your music play. The limitation you have is the one that you put on yourself. There is room for you to be an exponential mom. Develop yourself, transform yourself. If you need the service of a coach to even understand and unravel the package that is called you, because you're a full package. God doesn't make nonsense. Don't even think that, I don't even understand my purpose. Forget it. Anything you can do that can better the life of another person is purpose. because you have over glamorized this thing called purpose. I'm looking for my purpose. 40 days fasting and passing. Where's my purpose? What's that? What's that? People who have changed lives in history. I don't think they said they saw some vision that told them to be taking care of the poor. I don't think people have gone into activism. They told them somebody wrote them a script to go and do activism. There's a music in your heart. The reason you are feeling the way you're feeling about something is because there's something you can do about that thing. Allow the music in your heart to play. Thank you so much for having me. This is where I drop the mic.
Wow.
Honestly, Madam Neck, I thought you were going to say something. That was super awesome. That was super amazing. That was thank you so much. And we're indeed grateful. Yes, please can we say in the chat box? Let's appreciate our keynote speaker. Exactly, epic is the word. Exponential. She has exceedingly delivered the charge, and I'm super grateful. I'm super excited at the core that she has delivered, the authenticity and the wisdom that she has brought. Explosive, honestly, has been explosive. Mojurela says amazing. I have to listen to this again. I agree. Temitope says amazing. Super glad to be here. Mrs. Notch says explosive. Mojurela says again, it's so great to have someone who has gone ahead of us, bring us wisdom. I agree 100%. Usala says, thank you for being real with us, Ma. Thank you. This is superb. Amaka says, what? Honestly, words can't really place it. And I can see a lot of fire emojis. I can say, thank you, Ma. We are indeed grateful. Coach Evelyn says, I feel really blessed to be here. And honestly, Mrs. Notch has been dutiful in her assignment as a scribe, and she's just helped us to table down amazing nugget, amazing wisdoms. If you're just joining in, kindly scroll back if you can. And also, thank you to our YouTube audience, because we're also live on YouTube. There's so much amazing amazing content over here as well. Salome says, thank you, Ma. This is so insightful and awesome. Yes, and this is great. So thank you so much from our YouTube audience and from the Zoom room here. We are indeed grateful to have you, Ma. God bless you. All right, without further ado, I'll be moving straight to the next agenda for this wonderful lunch and unveiling. We'll be moving to the panel session. So we have two panels scheduled for you. We have two panels. The first one has a cohort of 5 amazing mothers, and the second cohort has another cohort of 5 amazing mothers. And both panels have individual moderators. We'll be having their bios read one beside the other, such that we can focus fully and understand the connection between the questions and this panelist bio. And please take notes down, because questions will only come after all the first 5 panelists have had their discussions and conversation. And feel free to put the questions in the chat box. We'll have one of the team members will pick it up for collation, and then we discuss after the first panel. Thank you so much. It's really amazing. And I'll be handing over to the IT team to please. We'll be handing over to the IT team to have the bio of our panel moderator, Miss Mojurela Adepeto. And after that, she will take over the panel session. Thank you.
who has called Canada home for the last 10 years. She's a member of the Real Estate Council of Alberta, Alberta Real Estate Association, and Canadian Real Estate Association. She practices under eXp Realty, one of the world's fastest growing real estate brokerages, transforming the real estate industry. Mojirola is passionate about delivering excellent and unique experiences for her clients and is always looking out for their best interests. She seeks to understand her clients' home purchase needs and leverages her data analytics skills to make sure her clients are well informed when buying or selling their homes. When she's not busy helping her clients find their dream home or investment property, Mojirola enjoys reading books, spending time with her daughter, traveling, trying out new restaurants, and playing tennis. As a podcast YouTube host enthusiast, she has a gift in asking really vital and important questions, which positions her with a unique ability to shine light on blind spots and draw deep insights from even the simplest conversations. She's the official moderator of the first panel of the Exponential Mums Gathering.
Yay. Hi, everyone. So good to be here. Keynote speaker, Mrs. Deborah, that was awesome. Thank you so much. It just feels so heartwarming, when you have a mom, come talk to you. And, it's like this group of younger ladies, younger moms, and you have, someone older come talk to us and be like, hey, if I could do this, what's your excuse? It was much harder for me. Imagine her talking about going to different universities. In my mind, I'm like, if I need that now, I would sit at home and get those information. It's so much easier for us right now to do these things. And, when she was talking about Funola Kuti and all people that had gone ahead, yeah, let your music play. We can afford to be limited by culture, and then she talked about mindset. My goodness. The mindset is the key thing that holds us back most of the time. If we don't transform our minds, we just get stuck. We limit ourselves, our small thinking, and we just don't move. We just don't believe we can. So for me, that's like my main takeaway, that mindset. And when she said, keep growing and don't grow the wrong version of yourself, I was like, oh my God, what? Oh God, that was so powerful. Don't grow the wrong version of yourself. The importance of knowing ourselves, oh God, and growing the right version for the vision for our lives. That was so amazing. Thank you so much again, Mrs. Deborah. God bless you. Okay, Coach Temi T, our host for today. So how do you want me to do this? Do you want me to read the bio for each person I'll be calling up, or is it going to be read?
So IT would play the bio of Coach Evelyn, and she's going first, and then take it up from there.
All right, thank you.
So IT.
Coach Evelyn is a single mom of 2 generations, a 30-year-old medical professional and a 10-year-old boy. She is CEO of Legend Consultancy Services Limited, a UK-based consultancy that offers regulatory expertise to pharmaceutical companies in the UK to support the registration of new drugs. Outside her day job, she's also a transformation and empowerment coach for survivors of domestic abuse. She helps her clients liberate their minds, rediscover their authentic selves, and inspire purposeful living. She does this through one-on-one and group coaching, mentoring, and counseling.
Yay! Let's welcome Coach Evelyn. Wow. I'm so excited to meet you. Okay, we don't have our spotlighted, do we? Okay, there she is. You're so
Thank you very
beautiful,
much.
so gorgeous. I love
Thank
your
you.
background, everything. It's a privilege to get to talk to you because when I saw the panelists and I was like, okay, there's someone coming to talk, to single moms. That is a space I'm so passionate about as well, being a single mom myself. And I can't wait, to learn from you and all the nuggets you're going to drop for us this night. So I guess my first question to you is, what were some of your, deepest pain points and challenges as you navigated this journey? Maybe first of all, maybe you could start with a brief background for us. Maybe talk to us, walk us through your journey. Are you in Nigeria? Are you in the UK? Where are you? Because it's different for, based on where you are. Just, honestly, we have 10 minutes for this section, but we're going to try our best because there's a lot to talk about.
Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm really blessed to be a part of this and to be given the opportunity to share my story. I didn't start out as a single mom. I was actually in a relationship and I was with somebody for 22 years.
Wow.
I have a 30-year-old, and if you do the mathematics correctly, I started off as a single mom, got into a relationship and actually got married. I was married for 12 years.
Wow.
And then 5 years ago, I decided to leave.
Yeah.
And I'm back being a single mom, and I've never been happier, I have to say. Now, you asked me about my pain points, and maybe just to throw a bit of light, I was this traditional Christian girl, that loves the Lord and, very career-driven, but a lover of God. And, I've always wanted to do God's will. And I was so much into church. And I embraced so much of it, got into this, my marriage, and did everything. But I found that whilst I was in there, I was changing who I was to please this person. And still it felt like a moving goalpost. I don't know if that resonates with anyone.
Totally.
And it got to a point where you almost completely lose who you are. I started off questioning because, yes, I had a good job. I was married. I had, I was comfortable enough, but I was so empty inside. I felt really empty. So it started for me asking myself questions. But before then, let me answer your question about my pain points. The deepest regrets I had at the time was, not being present for my daughter when she was younger, much younger. She's going to be 30, in the next few months. But I missed out a big chunk of her life because my focus was on making this marriage work. And I wanted so badly to make the relationship work that I was willing to sacrifice who I meant to be for that. And that's based on my own understanding.
Quick question. Sorry to cut you. So you had your daughter before the marriage, right?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Okay. At the time, how old was your daughter when you got married?
When I got married, she was about 10.
Okay.
About 10 or 12.
Okay. And how long did the marriage last for?
12 years.
Okay. All right.
Yes, I was in the relationship 10 years before we actually got married. So altogether 22 years. Okay. So it's a very long time. And for me to decide to leave after 22 years, it's serious. Like I said, missing out on that. And at the time, I felt like, yes, I'm a good mom. I put a lot into my child. I felt I was doing everything. I mean, on the outside, it felt right. And it wasn't until I left that environment that I realized, and I started to educate myself. And to be honest with you, I didn't realize what toxic relationship was all about, because all I knew was that you have to be submissive, you have to do this, you have to do that. And I was doing everything according to the books, but it wasn't working. And I started to question, Lord, if this is really you, why am I not getting the joy and fulfillment I needed from this union? Yeah. And I got to a point where I shifted my focus from the marriage, from the man to God. And that was my saving grace. And that was when I started to question who I really was. You know, what's the reason for my existence? Why am I here? Why did you bring me here? You know, what am I meant to do? And that's, you know, challenging things liberated my mind. That's the first breakthrough that I had. When my mind was, you know, came out of this box that I put myself, that society puts you in, that culture and tradition and religion puts you in. When I was able to break free from that, I was able to see within, you know, Miss Deborah said a lot about, you know, everything lies within you. And I started to empower myself. I read a lot of books, enlightening myself. And the more I did that, the more I feel that, you know, I have what it takes. I have what it takes to move forward. And, you know, being informed really empowers you. Yeah. So yes, my biggest pain points was really missing out on my daughter's upbringing, and that's why as parents, I think we need to be very mindful, because it really, you know, what you put into our children growing up really determines or shapes their future.
All right. And, you know, I was going to ask, yeah, were there books, resources, you know, networks you plug into? Because to actually, are you in the, where are you, in the UK, in Nigeria?
In the UK, in the UK.
Right. Actually, being in Nigeria, wherever you are, it doesn't even matter, actually, to actually say, hey, I'm leaving my marriage. That is not something you wake up one morning, you know, and decide, you know, this is over. You have to come to that point where you're like, you know what, I need to do this. How did you manage, you know, all the backlash, people telling you, you're the woman, you need to build your home. And then, you know, talking about basically that, really, you know, how are you able to build that mental strength to be like, no, this is it, and this is what I need to do?
One of the habits I cultivated in the process was going for solitude, where I just take myself away from everybody. And it's just me, myself, my maker, just looking within and just talking and seeking for direction. You know, most times we have the answer within. And I remember when I wanted to make a decision to leave my marriage, I knew at the time that I needed to make a decision, because my reality was that this is going nowhere. It was never going to be the marriage I desired. So I knew that, and I had to evaluate that. Okay, you know, what are my odds? Am I willing to stay, or am I willing to go? And at the time, I have to say, because I have my 10-year-old son, I was thinking, you know what, I'm just going to stay and, you know, just let him help me to bring up my child. But I realized that, you know, if I'm not careful, the same thing that happens with my daughter would happen in this case too. So I was very intentional about ensuring that my son grows up in a healthier environment, because I didn't want the cycle to continue. So in one of my solitudes, I asked God for direction. And he gave me a revelation. When I woke up from that revelation, I was confused, you know, in the interest of time, I'm not going to go into it. Yeah. And then I asked for an understanding, and it gave me an understanding of what he was saying. And he presented me with two choices: that you can either stay on the path where you are now, or you can retrace your steps.
Amazing.
And I chose to retrace my steps, because I saw what was behind, you know, what I would achieve if I retraced my steps. Amazing. And I chose that. So the essence of this is that, you know, in every decision we want to make, especially when it comes to the decisions of marriage, God is never going to speak to you and tell you go or not. It will always present you with a choice, and we all have a choice to make, right? Yeah. And I chose to redirect my steps, to retrace my steps. And like I said, I've never looked back. And what the understanding it gave me is that when you do, you would discover the hidden treasure within.
Right.
And when I had that, that was the answer that I needed. So it prepared me mentally that I'm going on a self-discovery journey to see the treasure that I have within. And there's no traditional ruler or pastor or anybody that would, strong enough to deter me from going on that mission to discover myself. So that was what I held on to, because you know how it is. We say 22 years old, a marriage or relationship, breaking it off. It's like, wow, you've stayed this long. Why don't you continue to stay? So I had enough ammunition within myself. I needed to convince myself that this is the direction I wanted to head, and nothing was going to change that.
Amazing. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your story. You know, what stands out to me is just like you said, you're told you've already invested 22 years into this. Why would you let her go to waste, but the fact that you can always pick your life back up wherever you are, you have not gone too far. You're not too old to start over. It's amazing that you've gone from that journey of, whatever dark spaces you might have been at that point in time. I can imagine the depression, the confusion, the feeling of I wasted my life, the feeling of, I could have been here, I could have been doing this and that, but this marriage has held me down, I could have gone way further, and coming from that to now being a coach, to helping women thrive in those situations. That's just so amazing and inspiring, I think, for everyone on this call. No matter what your situation is, right? We can pick ourselves back up. We just have to, that place of, finding God and finding direction for our lives and being able to take a stand for ourselves. Just like Mrs. Deborah mentioned, it's your life. At the end of the day, you cannot afford to take permission from the world. Everybody's going to have different opinions. Everybody,
absolutely.
At the end of the day, they're going to give you their opinion, and then they're going to go back to their house and eat chicken and rice. You are the one that will be back in that situation that you're in. And at the end of the day, we're all accountable to God to say, what did you do with your life? So our time is up. I don't know if you have, one final word you wanted to say before we move on. We're going to have more questions from the audience as we go. Do you have any final thing?
I think my parting word would be, in anything we do, we want to, the formula that I use was I call it the red flag formula. The red is, what's your reality? Be honest with yourself. Really be open. It's at the end of the day, it's your life, and you have the responsibility to drive your life in the direction that you want, and then evaluate. My evaluation meant me going away to a secret place and look within. Evaluation could also mean that you're increasing your knowledge, you're adding on to yourself, reading more books, being in the right company. And then the key thing is making a decision. And your decision will always drive an action. As Christians, we're all too into, let's pray, God will do it. Yes, God will do it. But there is a part that we have to play. So there is a place for prayer. There is a place for action. When I went into solitude and God, showed me that, yes, there's a treasure within you to be discovered. And I still sat there. I'm going to be in the same place today. And I can tell you, in the 5 years that I've been away, I started my own consultancy. I've bought 2 additional properties. I've done things, and I've met new people, and I've started another business completely. It's been completely amazing. So, and I can't put I can't quantify, what God has in stock for me, and I'm still going. So there is hope there. There's going to be uncertainty, but please be bold enough to embrace it, because there's always going to be a way. Where there's a will, there will be a way.
Yes, absolutely. There will be uncertainty. It's not going to be rosy. It's not going to be a walk in the park. Yeah, it's going to be work. Yes. Thank you so much. This has been amazing. Okay, I will hand over to the media team to bring up Mrs. Sandra.
Activist, disability advisor, and has many other interests which continues to form in helping to promote disability. She became passionately involved with helping the community on disability issues after her own experiences as a mother with a young man who has autism. Out of her own experiences, she formed and founded Johnny and Friends NGO in Ghana, West Africa. Sandra also has a platform that promotes businesses of parents and carers of persons with special needs. Sandra has 5 children and is a proud grandmother of 2. She was initially a dental nurse for more than 25 years and studied health promotion as well as having a master's in public health.
Yay. Let's all make welcome Madam Sandra. A round of applause in the audience, please. Wow, she's brought up. You're muted, ma.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Can we please spotlight her, please? Okay, awesome. Yes, we can see you, ma'am. We can hear you.
Good evening,
Welcome.
everybody.
Yes, welcome to the stage. Want to get to know more about you. So I have a few questions. Yeah. I want to know, how long ago did you start on this journey? I know it started off with you having your own child who had special needs. How many years ago was that? Because that matters, right? Because I know things have evolved a bit and things are better now, but depending on how many years ago, it was that you started on this journey, it would have been a lot more difficult. So please walk us through that journey.
Thank you so much for having me on today, this evening. As you rightly said, my name is Sandra Mamikopia. I'm actually based in UK. I'm from Ghana, but I'm speaking to you from UK. Okay. And our charity is not just in Ghana, but we have one here as well, where we work with parents. So my journey started almost 23 years ago because one of my sons, I've got 4 boys and 1 girl, and the third boy has autism, and he will be 23 quite soon. So before I had him, obviously I didn't know much about what autism, was. And so we had him, me and he's now my ex-husband. I'm also a single mother. But at the time, when we had him, we had no idea what autism was. And as my sister said earlier on, I was very involved in my then church. So because we were so involved, always at church, praying, fasting, everything that, you're a very devoted church member or Christian, you do with the church, we were doing. So when we had our son, it was like a big taboo at that time, because obviously I don't know what autism was, and we've never come across anybody that had a child with autism. So, there's stares in the church making you feel like maybe you've done something wrong. And I started to question my faith. I started to question God. Why has this happened to us? Is it because we did something wrong? Is it because I missed an appointment? Is it because I ate the wrong food?
Yeah.
All these questions will go through your mind. But I decided that, I want to help my son. I want to also learn. And I must say the journey wasn't easy, because along the way, me and my ex-husband, we broke up because I believe at the time, the pressure was just too much for the both of us. And men can't really express themselves the way women do. So he was more quiet than me, that as the mom, I wanted to know more things, whereas he kept everything in. And I could see that the toll was too much. So the marriage broke up, and I was left with 5 children, one of them not having any speech. And prior to that, as you mentioned, I was a dental nurse. And I thought, well, I'm on my own with 5 children now. I cannot go back to work full time, because who is going to be there to support my son as well as the rest of them. So I gave up work, and then I just did any jobs that I could do, which I could work around my children. And I decided that I was going to study, but I didn't know what to do at the time. So I just thought to myself, well, what can I do that I can also help myself as well as other parents? And the first thing that came to mind was that I love to travel. We always used to travel a lot. And the stares that you get on the flights, people will actually ask to move, because my son had no speech and he was very noisy, he lacked concentration. So I thought I'll do a flight attendant. Maybe I'll be able to teach some of these flight attendants or airlines, that we also matter. But then after studying that, I realized that with the time that you have to get up to go to work would not suit me. And that's when I decided to go into health promotion to find out more of how I can help myself and in turn also be a blessing to other parents. So I did the health promotion. And while I was doing it, I realized that, it's not me that has the problem, but it's the wider society. In terms of when I would go out with my son, or when we travel, or even with family members, because they don't know how to ask questions without coming across as, oh, we understand what you're going through, making me feel sorry for myself. I have to rather educate them and say, it's okay that you don't understand what I'm going through, but please allow me to be me and for me to tell you how I'm feeling, rather than you assuming that I'm, my life has ended. So it was at church when I used to bring my son, and I saw the same sort of attitude in the church where they would look at me and my son and how he would come and not sit still, and I have to take him out, and they will be looking to see, they'll be looking and having this sort of mindset that, oh my goodness, this poor woman. So the pastor's wife invited me to come and speak to the whole church. And after speaking to the church is when I realized that exactly what I've just said, they don't know how to approach those of us that have children with learning or disability, or any form of disability, without coming across as, oh, we're sorry for what you're going through. So that's when I decided that, okay, this is probably my call from, God. And at the same time, I remember a favorite scripture that, was dropped into my spirit, where this young man was blind and the disciples were asking Jesus, is it because the parents sinned? Is that why he's blind? And for me, it was like, I was that parent of that blind young man, because I felt that I had done something wrong. And it's what Jesus said back to the disciples, that no, it's not because the parents sin or anything, that's why this young man is blind, but it's because so that the God's glory and God's power will manifest. And that's when I realized that, this is my call. Through my son, I can help other people. I can help other moms. And so the journey has been for other moms and other families to know that your child that you have is not because of, you had a bad gene somewhere, or because
Madam Sandra, this has been such a great story, and I'm sorry I really had to cut you because we don't have a lot of time. But this is such a great story, so encouraging, so comforting for anyone that could be going through something similar, right? Or whatever the situation may be, challenges with your children and all. And you mentioned something so critical earlier on about how this affected your marriage. Having kids with special needs take a huge toll on marriages. And I'm so happy you highlighted that. Not everyone is able to, has the strength to be able to go through something like that. How did you find strength, to to go through a marriage breakdown while you were still trying to take care of your child, special needs child, in addition to raising your other kids? How did you find that strength? Did you have support? You were in the UK all this while, right? Yes. What were some of the things that helped you to go through that phase in your life?
My faith is the number one, my faith, and also networking with others that were going through the same as me, in terms of going to workshops, learning more, so that I'll be able to educate myself and not give up on myself or my son, as well as family and friends. But it was more so learning more, so that I will be educated enough to have the confidence and the courage to say, I'm going to go forward and get all the support and help that I need or my son needs. And I tend to see that a lot of the moms that I work with, they give up so easily. There is help and support for us, but they don't want to go through the journey of fighting for what their child rightly needs or is their right, especially here in the UK. So my strength and where I get my strength from is always learning to be able to better educate yourself, so that you are bold and you are confident when you're speaking or when you're in a situation where you need to be heard.
Okay, amazing. Well, thank you so much. I'm sure we're going to have more questions coming for you from the audience later on. Thank you so much for your time and for walking us through the amazing journey of yours. And it's so amazing to watch how you've grown and how you've now become an advocate and helping other moms thrive in this season. Thank you so much. Now we're going to move on to Ugone and Okonko, a nursing mom in diaspora.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for having me.
We're going to have your bio read first. We really need to hear your bio. Thank you. Excited to meet you. And if Ugone can be spotlighted as well. Okay, this has been a great conversation. I think Coach Temiti, next time, we're running this kind of session, we need at least 15 minutes per person. There's just so much to talk to it through in 10 minutes. I don't know. Does everyone agree? Let me know in the comment section. Do you agree?
I agree. Well, I'll take that. I agree so much. Thank you. You're doing an amazing job.
Okay. All right. I think we can have I don't know, are we having technical issues? Should we go ahead? You need to start dropping your questions. Coach T, is there a way for people to start dropping their questions?
If we're having technical issues.
Sorry, say that again.
I said you can read her bio since.
Okay. And I was just saying, for people to start dropping their questions, where do they drop questions?
In the chat. We'll pick it up from there.
Okay. All right. So please, as we go through each session, if you have any questions you want to ask any of the panelists, please drop it in the comment section. We're going to grab those questions and ask them at the end of this when we have the Q&A. All right. I have my very dear Ugone and Okonko. She's an amazing woman. She's a birthing midwife, a strong mother, a rigid support, wise woman, and intelligent scribe. Okay, I'm going to move on to a bio. That was just some preambles. She's a Nigerian-born writer, educator, and the author of the book, The Birthing: How to Partner with God for Your Children, Your Vision, and Your Nation. In less than 18 months after childbirth, Ugone went from a slow, confused, overwhelmed, and not very motivated mother to a multidimensional visionary woman who is birthing and launching different expressions of her vision as the Lord enables her. She's passionate about helping other young women who love the Lord to become kingdom visionaries so that they can birth God's vision and purpose for their lives per season. Ugone is the creator of the Ugone Ann YouTube channel and the host of the Birthing Visions podcast, a show dedicated to helping visionaries find and birth their God-given visions. When she's not writing, speaking, or teaching, Ugone enjoys reading a thought-provoking book and catching up on a Nigerian web series. She lives with the love of her life, Dr. Isaac, and their son Zite, I hope I pronounced that right, in Shenyang, China, where she teaches English as a second language to the most adorable Chinese preschoolers. All right. Okay, welcome, Ugone Ann Okonkwo. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a privilege being here. I have been blessed so far. Thank you. Thank you to all the speakers. It's been such a blessing.
You know, yesterday I was just going through your YouTube channel because, you know, like I'm an enthusiast and I'm like, oh, I need to start my channel. I was like, let me go see Ugone, what she's doing on YouTube. I'm like, wow, it's amazing. You know, just start, right? That's something I love about you. You know, you just execute, you start. So, I mean, reading through your bio, you're where? Tell us again, where are you?
I am living in Shenyang, China, yes.
Wow, what? How?
Well, actually, as you asked, my husband is the one that got here first. He's got into medical school here, and I moved after we got married to Shenyang. Yeah.
Wow. How has it been? How long ago have you been in? How long have you been in China?
Wow, it's actually been a while. Since 2015, guys. Since 2015, I've been here. Last year was my 7th year, and it dawned on me that, oh my goodness, it was like a Sabbath year for me.
Wow.
It was awesome.
What is life like in China?
Well, I would say that, to be honest, it depends on the person and it depends on who you ask. But for me personally, life has been such a blessing here. It can be challenging with regards to the language barrier, the way that the average Chinese sees an African, and you know, a lot of things. But then for me personally, it has been a journey of God carrying me. Literally, I know that it is so I'm supposed to be here. Like God brought me here. And it's a major part of my story being in China because it opened me up to so much more. So it's been a blessing, really. And I love being here. And I love Chinese food. Like I'm obsessed with Chinese food.
Oh, wow. I think for me, what stands out for me in that is just, we have to be where God wants us to be. In my mind, I could never imagine me in China, going to China. You know, being sensitive to God, to let God lead us. We need to be at the right place, you know. It's not everybody that needs to be in Canada or UK or US, right? There's so many other how many other continents and countries we have in the world, but we limit ourselves to this few that, you know, hey, we'll go with the crowd. So for that's really amazing for God to show us, you know, our own position and for us to be rightly positioned where we need to be, basically. Okay. So what has it been like? You know, how did you make that transition from being an overwhelmed, confused mom to becoming this multidimensional woman, visionary, doing, you know, launching books, having podcasts, YouTube? How? What happened?
Okay, I'm just going to, I think, let me tell you, for me, my story, for me personally, it is about, and it's such a blessing that we're talking about motherhood, because motherhood actually was the game changer for me. Motherhood, I can't stop talking about it. That the fact that I am an author today, like I literally have a name and a book, my name behind the book, is because of motherhood. And the funny thing is that prior to that, I used to think that motherhood would stop me. Like motherhood would literally truncate my life and not, because growing up and looking around, I'm an Igbo girl. I grew up in Enugu. Oh, and family is just there. My aunties, the people that were around me basically were just, I don't know how to put it, but they were not exponential, basically. They were not exponential in that sense. They lived good lives. They lived great, okay lives, but they were not epic. And in my heart, I wanted more. And all I could see was that is because after they had children, they couldn't do anything more. They just had to take care of the kids. But as God may have it, he started to bring certain people around me, started bringing me to certain communities like Immerse Inner Circle, started bringing some kind of women around me. I remember it was through Ezia Habolaji Olojo and that I getting into her circle, that I was able to, like, you know, started seeing women that were like younger than me, older than me, just killing it. And they were mothers. So it was getting into, and that is one of the biggest things that, of course, I'm going to say helped me, is the fact that I started getting into exponential communities online, because I wasn't even at home. It was here. So getting into these communities, and I would encourage anyone, all of us, that we should definitely, if you see, as God is leading you, if you see these communities and he will bring it to you, you should just join, engage, ask questions. I was asking all the questions, and from there I got into Immerse Inner Circle. And then I remembered in 2019, I think it was towards the end of the year, that middle of the year, I was praying and asking God, what would you have me do for the rest? It was like in June. What would you have me do for the next 6 months of 2019? And he spoke clearly with definite, like, confirmations from people that he would have me, that he wanted me to write a book. Prior to that time, I was already blogging. I had this blog called Till the Nations, and he just really made it clear for me that he would love me to write a book. And I thought that the book that he would ask me to write was coming from one of the blog posts that I made, right? And that's the second thing that helped me. This is actually what vision is about, is the power of vision. Vision for me is, like my coach would say, God's thoughts about an unfolding future captured today by a discerning heart. Is when you ask God questions and he begins to tell you those things that he will have you do today. And as I got on that journey, my goodness, everything changed. And it was motherhood. It was after having my child that I was able to because at first I thought that that when you have children, you know, nursing and all those things. But my sister, everything I struggled with, sleeping. I used to struggle with sleep. Motherhood literally deleted that for me, because especially in the first 1 or 2 months, I couldn't even sleep like how I used to sleep before because of the baby, right? So motherhood just literally introduced me into a level of strength that I didn't even know I had until it actually happened, you know? Yeah. And from there, it's just been an amazing journey so far. I wrote this book, I launched it in 2021, and yeah, that's the thing that has helped me. The vision, power of vision, and exponential communities, basically.
Right. Yeah, I can definitely attest to that. You know, because that community, you're being challenged, you're seeing people doing epic things. Your mind is being transformed, you're seeing what's possible, and you're like, oh, if they can, I can, right? Right. And something you said, you know, God asked you to write a book, and then, but you started writing a blog before then.
Yes.
So for me, it's like, we don't need to wait for that big thing to do that epic big thing. You had started writing a blog.
Yes.
And the wisdom, the strength, the diligence, when you start writing, for instance, when you're journaling every day, you become more of a better speaker, your thoughts flow more because you're already used to that flow, right? So you having that blog, which was maybe nobody even knew the blog, maybe it wasn't even popular or anything, but that you learned some key skills that helped you now become the writer that you needed to be.
Exactly.
So what stood out for me there was, you know, the power of small actions, taking small little steps, doing small little things that now, you know, multiply into those big epic things that we end up doing. So that's just an encouragement to anyone in this chat right now, feeling, oh, I mean, write a book or do something big or a big vision. No, start with little things. Start with a small WhatsApp group. Start with a small, you know, sharing on your status or, you know, whatever. Just take small little actions every day. And it's amazing, you know, when you begin to see how those things multiply. Thank you so much, Ugone. We have 1 minute. Did you have one more thing you wanted to say, one last line in 1 minute?
I would also just encourage us to, especially for if you have something in your mind that you would really love to achieve, I would definitely recommend coaching. It was one of the biggest things that helped me. Even though I knew that God had asked me to write, in the space of that 6 months, I could only do like three pages or so because it was just so difficult, like getting it out. And coaching is basically midwifery. I was, because of that, because of my reality, I saw that I couldn't do this. I knew that I needed hand holding. I knew that I needed help. And as difficult as it was for me at the time, I actually paid someone to help me go through that book writing process. And I am now such a big proponent of coaching on any level, whatever it is that you are struggling with. Imagine that something that in 6 months, I couldn't do like 3 pages. In 4 months, I had finished the book. I finished the whole book, and my first draft was ready because I had someone working with me, a coach with me. And
thank you so much
that's what I would definitely recommend.
Yeah, thank you so much for highlighting that. That's another thing, right? You know, getting the help of a coach. Don't try to do it all on your own. And that brings me to also highlighting the fact that, you know, Mothers Haven community, it's a great community for moms, for us to all come together, see all the moms, see all the panelists, see everyone coming from different angles, you know, people sharing their different perspectives. So don't miss out on an opportunity to be part of an epic network. It's free to join, you know, it's definitely, I would definitely encourage anyone on this call is not yet on the community. I am already. There's a WhatsApp group. Just make sure you're plugged in. Make sure you don't just come for this webinar and then you forget about it. Do it now. Go get the link and join right now. All right. Thank you so much. That brings us to an end. We're running a bit behind schedule. Sorry about that. Thank you so much, Ugone. It was such a pleasure talking with you. And now, next up, we have the very amazing Mrs. Notch. Can we please bring Mrs. Notch on stage? Can we give a round of applause to Mrs. Ugone? Thank you so much. Okay, I'll go ahead and read Mrs. Notch's bio. All right. I don't know if media, but I'll just go ahead. Mrs. Notch is a child evangelist, teenage mentor, Christian writer, and biblical parenting coach. She's on a mission to help African immigrant families raise godly and wholesome children who will take territories for Jesus. She lives in Canada with a lovely family and runs an online Bible study group for young children and teenagers. She is also a blessed and prophetic scribe. If you don't read our newsletters, subscribe today. She'll be sharing one of her pain points and tips that helped her scale as a mom living and working in diaspora, yet crushing her goals. Yep. And also recently launched a biblical parenting academy. She's an amazing sister. Every visionary she'll have in her corner. Okay, let's give it one round of applause.
Fondly called Mrs. Notch, is a child evangelist, teenage mentor, Christian writer, and biblical parenting coach. She's on a mission to help African immigrant families raise who will take territories for Jesus. She lives in Canada with her lovely family and runs an online
Okay. Let's just give a warm round of applause and a warm welcome to Mrs. Notch. If she can be spotlighted, that would be amazing. Sorry about the technical issues. We have to give kudos to the team that's put this event together. Honestly, when I saw the marketing campaign on Instagram, I was like, wow, who are these people? Like you guys are putting a lot of work to make this happen. And you've done such a great work. And this has been really good. So I really applaud you guys. Everyone on the back end, IT, Coach Demiti, well done, well done. All right, Mrs. Notch, please unmute because we can't wait to draw.
Good evening, Coach Moji. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you know, I'm always so inspired by your commitment to your growth, right? You're such an avid reader. I'm like, you're taking so many trainings. And I'm like, and one thing about you is also your humility. I'm like, well, don't call me. I say you are my coach. You know, like how are you so humble? You know, no. So such a pleasure to have you. You're amazing. You're doing some amazing work for kids here. We need it so much. Like actually, parents in diaspora. There's so many challenges. We don't have the extra help we're used to in Nigeria, and then we have work. You're just like sometimes just abandon your kids and you don't deliberately mentor them or put those the effort in to raise them. So really helping us learn those skills to parent our children, actually, the biblical parenting aspect of it. So yeah, walk us through your journey. How did you even? I know we don't have so much time, but just walk us through that journey of why did you even decide to do this? You saw a gap in there to fill it. And how has that been for you so far?
Well, it's been a journey of incredible self-discovery for me. And it all started during the lockdown when the pandemic started. There were no churches open, nobody could go to church, and the whole world was trying to get on board with this online system. And I realized that my son was beginning to forget everything he ever knew about church or the Bible. So I saw that I had to start teaching him myself because we were all at home together. And that was when so I went to God and asked God to please teach me how to teach my son the Bible, because it wasn't a skill that I had before. I was used to taking my child to church and dropping him off at children's church and going into the main church. Sometimes I don't even bother to ask what they were taught. So that was when God told me, okay, his answer to me was, I want you to gather some children in your community and teach them the Bible, which I felt, whoa, where's that from? I'm telling you what I need. You are giving me an assignment. Eventually, I decided to start it, and that was over 2 years ago, and it's just been incredible. My son has grown, and so have all the children that I've been teaching as well. And the vision has now evolved to see that God was calling me to be a biblical parenting coach.
Wow, that's so amazing. Yeah, I can totally relate. Yeah, I just drop the kids and let them go learn. They do all the work. How are you able to divide your time between caring for your kids and pursuing your dreams? You're working a full-time job, and then you're starting your coaching business and ministry and all that. How do you manage your time? Because that's something we moms struggle with. So break it down for us. We really need tips.
The biggest thing for me that has worked and continues to work is time management. I am very brutal about how I spend my day. I realized that there were many leaks in my 24 hours. We all have 24 hours. Nobody's special enough to get more than that from God. We have to work with 24 hours for everything that we have to juggle: motherhood, wifehood, faith, career, every hood. So I decided, or I realized that I had to plug the leaks in my day and maximize 24 hours every day. And then I just replicate that process every day, times 7 days a week, times every month. And to my greatest surprise, I began to have traction. I began to make progress. So the first thing I do is I have a certain time that I wake up, and I have a time that I go to bed. For example, I wake up at 4 a.m. every day. Sometimes I wake up before that because most of the time I have to be at work at 7 a.m. So I wake up at 4, from 4 to 6, I'm having my personal quiet time. That's when I read, that's when I write, that's when I talk to my God. That's when I do the things that I need to do between me and God. I don't compromise that time for anything. Once it's 6 o'clock, I get off that and I start to prep my children for school or prep myself for work. And then I go to work. When I come back from work, I don't do anything else but look after my children, attend to them, because I have an 8-year-old and I have a 3-year-old. I attend to them, I prepare meals, I spend time with my husband when he's done with work, and I go to bed with the children at 8 o'clock. That may sound simple, but it has been incredible. When the children go to bed, what do we usually do? Netflix, YouTube, Instagram, social media, and those are the leaks that I was talking about. You are on your phone till about 11 p.m. and then you go to bed at 11 and maybe you start to gist with your spouse and you don't even sleep until 12 or 12:30. And then you have to wake up at 5 o'clock, you are snoozing your alarm. So what really helped me was knowing my energy levels. When am I at my best? In the morning. So I put my most productive and creative work at that time. That is why my 4 a.m. wake up time is sacrosanct. I hardly sleep in, except I'm not feeling well. And even then, I get back my hours later in the day because I have stuff to do. So I manage my energy levels. I put my most productive and deep work first thing in the morning when I'm at my sharpest. And it's also incredible, can I say, for journaling and getting inspiration from God. There's something incredible about waking up with thoughts that God has downloaded into your spirit. So imagine that you're snoozing your alarm, you're rushing off to work and you say, oh God, I love you. You understand God, and you're brushing your teeth and you're praying. It's not going to work. Your motherhood will go down the drain in effectiveness if you don't master that. So for me, it's been mastering my energy level. It's been planning my day and following that schedule. Even my children have a schedule. And also teamwork. I work in partnership with my husband and we leverage on each other's strengths. I didn't say weaknesses, I said strengths. So the things that I do better, I handle them in the family. The things that he does better, he handles them in the family. And when we put it together, it becomes a whole. So that's how we've been able to not just survive, but thrive without losing our minds, running ourselves down, because there is no domestic staff abroad unless you are the King of England and you have so many staff at your disposal.
Wow, that's amazing. You know, finding leaks in your daily schedule. And you can't find those leaks except you actually plan out your day. Like, what do I do at different times? Yes. That's what amazing, finding those leaks. Because you just start on Instagram, you start scrolling, and before you know it, it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to check something. And then you forget what you want to even check on Instagram. That's so good. Wow, 4 a.m. That is amazing. So is that time simply, your quiet time with God, or is that also time where you do things like for your consulting and ministry work?
If it's something creative, it will be at 4 a.m. But if it's something administrative, if I want to host an event or I need to design something on Canva, I don't need solitude and perfect silence to do those things. But the ones that I absolutely need solitude for, I will do them at that time in the morning. And remember that I've been asleep since 8 p.m. So if I sleep at 8 and I wake up at 4, that's actually 8 hours sleep. So most times I can even wake up at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. because my body is done. I know my sleep cycle. I know when my body is well rested. And I'm better rested than most people that go to bed at 11 or 12 and wake up at 5 a.m. again.
So true. That's another key thing. Knowing your energy cycle, your sleep cycle, how much time do you need for sleep and all that. The other question I have for you is, how are you able to consume so much knowledge? Like read so many books, take so many courses, like even one course, you're like, oh my God, how do I find the time? So what time do you take those courses or, read those books? And not only that, because you can also be reading and just, having all those knowledge and you get constipated with knowledge. How, you also read and then you execute. How do you balance? Are you able to read so many books? Because we learned from Mrs. Deborah earlier, we need to read books. Teach us, how can we be more effective in reading books?
For reading books, I speed read them. And that's another conversation. But coaching has taught me how to go into something and quickly extract the knowledge I need from there. So I would also heavily recommend coaching because I joined a program called Unbonding the Decade, where we were taught how to ask cornerstone questions. What your learning metabolism is. You don't learn these things in school. You will learn them through coaching. So you have to be in the right community. You have to get the right coaches, and neither will your spouse. Your husband will not teach you how to read books. And your wife won't do that either. You have to go after that yourself. So I learned how to read books, how to go into courses, extract the vital information that I need. So when I'm listening to a course or when I'm watching something, I am hearing for destiny, and I'm hearing very fast. I'm hearing exactly what I need because my mind is tuned in. Another thing that I do is that I plan my courses for the different days of the week. So on Monday, I know that I am at Unbundling the Decade. On Tuesday, I'm going to Firebrand. On Wednesday, I'm going to Show Up Circle. On Thursday, I'm going to this. On Friday, I'm going to this. That's what I do. And I don't take more than 5. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. My weekends, I leave them open and free because I have to run errands. I have chores, and I need to bond with my family also. That's how I do that. Another thing I do to go through my course content is I also maximize my hours in the day. So when I'm cooking, I have my earbuds on and I'm listening to something because cooking is mechanical. My hand is doing it. I don't really need my mind to do that. I've mastered that. I've been cooking for many years, right? So I don't waste that time. So whenever I'm in the kitchen, my family knows, my children know, I'm listening to something or I'm praying. I maximize that time. I plug my leaks. When I'm in the shower, I'm always praying. Extra time to pray. I pray when I'm in the shower, when I'm driving, when I'm in the store, doing my grocery shopping and all of those things. I'm either listening to something or I'm praying. So I learned to put the most important things in my life into every available time spot, because like I said, we will never have more than 24 hours. So you have to fit everything into 24 hours and maximize it. And that is what has really worked for me. There's no rocket science to it.
Wow, wow, wow. Oh my God, look at systems. My goodness. We can't just be doing anyhow. Like, there are systems we have to put in place. Otherwise, we're not going to move forward. Like, it's just not going to work. Especially being abroad. And wow, that is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing from, your depth of knowledge. I've definitely picked a few things, that I'm going to implement. Especially, it's funny, some things but then you find you didn't implement it. Like, I knew about the idea of, scheduling different days for different things. And I need to go back to doing that. And just be consistent and committed. Sometimes you just let things slide. Thank you so much. This has been amazing. Okay, I think the next thing we have on the agenda is the questions. Can you please confirm? We have some questions from the audience. Okay.
Just one question.
Yes. So I see a question from Okpayemi Okwade. This question is for the second panelist. That'll be Madam Sandra, I believe. And I see it can also be for Coach Evelyn, whoever is able to take the question. Because the question is around, how did she overcome stigmatization that is associated to divorce in our African community? So it could be either for Coach Evelyn or Madam Sandra. Coach Evelyn, do you want to take that?
Yes, I think for me, because I was mentally prepared, I mentioned something that, before I made the decision, I went to seek God's face and I got clarity. And I knew that I had bigger vision, bigger goals. Because prior to that, I'd always questioned that, why do we have a lot of people in marriages that are unfulfilled? I feel that a lot of potential is being locked up in unfulfilled marriages. And I doubt that that's the will of God for us, So for me, it didn't matter whether I didn't need anybody behind me. I didn't need anybody to champion me on. I was fine doing a lone journey because I was convinced that I was doing the right thing.
Yeah, totally. That's so true. Thank you so much, Coach Evelyn. I don't know if Madam Sandra wanted to add to that as well. You're muted, ma.
Okay. Yes, for me as well, as I mentioned earlier, the more I learned, the more I grew, the more I became confident. And the table turned. I felt more sorry for those who would look at me different rather than me feeling sorry for me because everybody looked at me different. So I think when you surround yourself with those who have a positive mindset and they always encourage you, you grow and you refuse to look at what is norm in everybody's eyes.
Mm.
So for me, it's all about learning to grow.
Right, right. Amazing. Thank you so much. And if I can add, I think for me is, just choosing you. It's your life. You have to take responsibility for your life and, being sure, being led by God, really. Once God is leading me on this direction, at the end of the day, I want to obey God and not any people are going to have conflicting opinions and they want you to do, they're going to throw you in different directions. But you need to be grounded in this is how God is leading me. And if God is leading me, he's going to make this work out for me. And trusting God on that journey. And you don't have to worry about culture or what anyone will say. Thank you so much. Second question I have here is, how do we cope with motherhood, career, family, as well as the stress of the environment and also the vision we have ahead? I think anyone can take this question. Anyone on the panel can take this question. How do we cope with motherhood, career, family, and the stress of the environment and pursuing a vision?
I like what the Mrs. Notch said about time management, and I've learned so much, just from hearing her speak. I think learning to maximize your time, manage your time, being very intentional about what you want to achieve also is a good driver. And I think Miss Deborah mentioned also that when you're willing, when there's a will, you will find a way. We can always give ourselves excuses, but if you set your mind to do something, you will find a way to achieve those things. I mean, throughout my life, I've been a full-time working mom, and you still find time to develop yourself, to maybe go to the gym, to do some courses. Yes, go to the gym and have your AirPods on, and then you're doing, multitasking. So there's you're always able to, stretch the day and fit in a bit more.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so important. That's something I do as well. Like there's never a silence. I'm always listening to something on YouTube, a message or something. Well, thank you so much. And Mrs. Notch also added time management, scheduling, teamwork, and coaching. Someone says, do you take personal coaching classes? So even Coach Evelyn, you're a coach. Do you still take personal coaching classes?
I do indeed. So I have group coaching and personal coaching. So yes.
Okay, yeah. I think coaches need coaches. Everyone needs coaching.
And I have a coach too. Yes. Even coaches need coaches. Yes.
Yes. And just a reminder about the Mothers Haven Network. This is a group. It's a group coaching network, really. Coach T, oh my God, she's a super coach. She's going to hold your neck. She's going to hold you accountable. You cannot escape. She's going to make sure you do whatever it is, that vision burning in your heart. Just take advantage of this opportunity and get on the network. Okay, which organization organizes courses that Mrs. Notch mentioned? Firebrand and other courses. So she mentioned Firebrand. That is, you want to talk about that, Mrs. Notch? Yes, go ahead.
Oh, so I keep a running subscription for Immerse Inner Circle and any other community that services my needs or my developmental areas. So if I see that I'm weak in something, I go get a coach for that. I go get a network for that. So I highly recommend you join Mothers Haven Network because it pulls all the resources that you need together. You would, okay, let me not let the cat out of the bag, but well, Mothers Haven has all the things you need. Where they are not present, Mothers Haven is the hub that sends you in the right direction because you also don't want to be miscoached. There are many aspire to perspire what you require so that you won't be in a quagmire coaches out there. And you don't want to lose your money to hustlers. So I suggest that you commit yourself to a trusted process where you will be rightly coached so that you can experience the transformation that you really need.
Absolutely. Coach Temiti, my goodness. There was a day I asked her, I need a coach. She sent me like 20. I'm like, I now became like, I don't even, she has coaches for every single area. And she has gone through all these different coaches at one point or the other. So yeah, she definitely has a wealth of knowledge she's going to be sharing with us. I can't wait. All righty. Thank you so much. I think that brings us to the end of our quest. Oh, one more question. How do I ensure that I follow my schedule and shop distractions? Who wants to take that? What is that? What makes you? What is that force or that's, is it a vision? How are you able to follow your schedule and shop distractions? You want to take that, Mrs. Nudge?
Okay. What really drives me is that vision, that compelling vision, that compelling picture of the future that I want to create. Because the truth is, if you have nowhere that you're going, you're going to be turning around every street without direction. So as a mother, what really is your vision? What drives you? I live in diaspora, I live in Canada. I'm not here to enjoy the soft life or attend birthday parties. I have something, my husband always says, there's something driving you from within. That something is what makes you keep to your schedule, is what makes you subscribe to the things that you need. When you go for your lectures in school, it's because you want to graduate with a certain degree or a certificate. Imagine if you didn't have that demand of, I want to get a certain degree. Some days you wake up and you decide that you don't want to go to school. Some other days you decide that, in fact, you're done with education. But when you have a goal in sight, that's what vision does for you. When you have that end result, when you have that picture of the future that you want to get to, there's nothing more motivating than that. You're going to get up. You do what you have to do. You stay awake at night. As I speak to you, I might not even go to bed at 8 p.m. today because I have stuff that I need to do. That's because there's a vision. So motherhood is not the entirety of who you are. You are more than that. Like we've been hearing, you are an epic person. You're an exponential person. If you really want to be exponential, if you don't want to die as and she came and she was a wife and a mom, goodbye. Here lies a wife and mom. That's the end. If you want something more added to your life, to your meaning, to your purpose, then that vision will drive you. It will make you get up. It will make you not snooze your alarm. It will make you say, I will rise above this. It will make you part with your money where you need to get a certain outcome, because you will be required to part with money. Just so you know, free of charge. True transformation doesn't happen free. True. If it's free, you are not getting much value. You can quote me on that.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much. That brings us to the end of this segment of the show, of the program. It's been so enlightening, I'm sure. I want to see those fire emojis in the comment sections. Thank you for all our panelists, all our coaches, everyone has come up to speak this morning. And the time has really gone so fast. I've just been looking at the clock and trying to run. Thank you all so much. It was such a pleasure, moderating this session. And it's been amazing learning from all of you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the participation in the audience. I'm going to hand over to Coach Temi T of Mothers Able Network to take us to the next segment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, amazing. Thank you, our amazing moderator. Thank you, Coach Evelyn. Thank you, Madam Sandra. Thank you, Coach Gone. Thank you, Mrs. Natch. And thank you to my amazing participants. We are not done. This is, let's still get to the bottom part. As they normally say, that the down part that is very sweet. And I'm really excited that we have been learning and we have been gleaning from the wealth of wisdom that is out there, that has been spoken and has been shared, and you're able to relate with the stories of those mothers. And God selected this specific women, the specific mothers for today, because He wanted you to hear something that you need to move. You need to hear something that you need to take action with. Okay, so before I go into my session, while my bio is being played, I would like you to take a stretch, stand up, and listen, and stretch. Okay, over to you, Media Team. Let me pick it. All right. Okay. So while that we've been able to stretch, I think we're still having network and stability with our media team. So let me know in the chat box, are we ready? Are we ready? Have we stretched? Have we moved our arms or feet? Are you ready? All right. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. And if we're ready for the second phase.
Health pharmacist that supports the pediatrics and adolescents living in Lagos with HIV and AIDS. She's a wife and a mother to an amazingly intelligent toddler and a beautiful 4-month-old.
All right, thank you so much, Media Team. Thank you, everyone who has been here. Very quickly, because of time, I am Temitope Falade Adeodigbe. I am the founder, the host of Mothers Given Network, and it's a joy to be here with you today. I'm basically a mother who is passionate about helping other mothers rise, helping other mothers become better versions of themselves, helping other mothers find and get connected to solutions that will help them to achieve and reach out for their dreams, reach out for the things that they desire without necessarily sacrificing their goals, sacrificing their desires to be more, to be themselves, and also to help them find identity. And I like how the first panel went. I saw that we kept asking questions about balance. We kept asking questions about how we can achieve structure, how you can stick to your schedule, how you can rise. And we asked questions about coaching, about the organization, and everything. So basically, I'm here to give you a broad solution to that. Just like one of the panelists mentioned, I myself have been a recipient of a number of coaching networks and a number of coaching programs. Because why? When I find a gap in my life, when I find a weakness in my life, I find someone who can help me fix it. I ask for help. I don't go through life alone. And these have actually helped me to build a very amazing networking skill that has also helped me to be able to get where I am today. Today, we are launching Mothers Given Network with 10 wonderful panelists, one keynote speaker, and myself as the host. And all of this happened in less than 3 weeks. It's not by power, it's not by might, it's by God. And it's also because over time, I have been able to build capacity, I've been able to build strength, and I've been able to connect with people who have solutions to things that I need. And I've also done a little bit of research and discovered that I am not alone in this boat. I'm not alone in the ark. I have other mothers out there who also need what I have come to discover. I've been through difficult times. I've been through pain points. I've been through times when I wonder how I got here. And at the end of the day, I keep pushing with resilience, with support, and with an amazing family, and I have gotten here. Now, how did I get here? How am I able to do all of the amazing things that I do? For those who probably didn't hear the bio, I run a social impact organization where we help career professionals to be able to start their nonprofit. I volunteer in a number of nonprofit organizations, Rise and Lead Africa, Teens Going for Gold Network. I am currently the learning manager in the Unbundling Rejected Boot Camp, which is one of the coaching organizations that a number of our panelists have come from, and you can see how amazing that is. And we didn't just come out like this, we have done the work, and we keep doing the work. And I'm not here to say it's going to be rosy. I'm not here to say I have one secret formula that will make you just lie down in bed and wake up by 10 a.m. I'm going to sleep by 6 p.m. and then everything's going to be okay. No, you heard Mrs. Notch say that she wakes up 4 a.m. I myself, I have a career myself. I have a 4-month-old who turned 5 actually 2 days ago, and I'm actually exclusively breastfeeding. So if you can imagine what that is, it means that I have to pump in the middle of the night. I have to pump milk for my baby and make sure she has enough to last her the whole day, and amongst other things that I also do. So amongst other things that I do as well. So I'm here to encourage us. I'm here to share a little bit of what I do and how I want to support you. All right, so media thing, you can have the slides on. So basically, I'm starting with the struggles that I typically see mothers on the go. I see that mothers struggle with balance. I see that mothers struggle with structure. I see that mothers struggle with building systems in their lives. I see that mothers struggle with having a sense of identity. You know, so many times we get carried away in caring for our own children, in caring for our spouses, in caring for our extended families, and then we do not actually care for ourselves. And we keep saying this thing that we are sacrificing for them. I'm not here to say do not care for your words, but I'm saying know yourself, identify yourself, prioritize yourself, prioritize your goals, prioritize your dreams. Why? Because these children, these spouses will grow up and will achieve their dreams. And I don't want any mother to end up having resentment that they couldn't achieve what they wanted to achieve while because they were caring for their young ones. Yes, there is a phase where you may decide to step back a little bit and care for your words. I totally support that. But you also have to have a plan. You have to have a plan. You have to have a plan on how you get back on track. You have to know what to do while you're waiting. You know, it's not just enough to say, okay, I'm trying to care for my toddler. Once they are grown, then I'm going to do this and that. No, there are things you should do even while you're at home caring for your toddlers, caring for your babies. There are so many things that you should do such that you stay on the trend. And when your kids are grown and you're ready to get back on track, or you are ready to continue the track because you even never left. Yes, you don't leave the track. I'm here to tell you that you continue in the track and you find opportunities that help you along the way. And I see that mothers don't master their emotions. Any little thing will just break down. It's not bad to cry. It's okay to cry, but you also have to master your emotions and use it as a catalyst to be able to achieve what you need to achieve. And when I mean catalyst, something that makes your work faster. Turn your emotions as a tool. Turn your emotions as a word tool to be able to achieve those things that you need to achieve. Renewal and relaxation. I see that so many mothers don't prioritize having time to rest. We don't rest. We are running up and down, you know, and just the whole struggles all around. Then support system. We do not create support system. We are quick to say, I don't have any help. I don't have, like I heard today, I did all of these things that I do when I don't have a house help. It's okay
when you decide you don't want to help, but it's not okay when you don't have a support system. The fact that you are able to thrive because you don't have a paid help doesn't mean you don't have a support system. So a support system includes your spouse, it includes your family members, it includes that neighbor that you take your children to when you have to quickly rush somewhere. It includes that person that you entrust your house to. Say, okay, please help me clean here, help me do that. All of this encompasses your support system. Sense of fulfillment. At the end of the day, what fulfills you? So many times we'll say, okay, once I hold on to my child, once I spend time bonding, I am fulfilled. Yes, that fulfills you. But is that the totality of what God created you to do? Is that the assignment? Yes, we are called to raise our kings and queens, but you have to ensure that you have an understanding of your assignment, have an understanding of your identity, of who you are and what you are sent to do. If you walk in alignment of that, then yes, you have fulfillment. But if you are in disalignment, you won't have fulfillment. So that is one of the things that Mother's Haven is here to help you fill up. Time and energy management. Mrs. Notch has said a lot about that. And Mrs. Notch is she's a living example of understanding how time works and managing time, understanding how your energy cycle works, knowing when you're strong to do certain things and knowing when you're weak to do other things. For me, she says cooking is mechanical, she listens while she cooks. For me, I listen on the move. I go to work, I'm driving, I'm listening to personal development videos, I'm listening to teaching. Even while you're just sitting at home and just resting, your ears, things are just going, it enters into your subconscious mind even more than you can actually imagine. Then brutal focus. Our minds are distracted. We are here, we are there. You're thinking of how many cups of rice you need to buy or bags of rice, how many the Milo, the milk, is the tissue exhausted, is the hypo still remaining? So many of these things cloud your mind, and you're not able to brutally focus on the most important thing. You're not able to prioritize what am I to do now that is most important and urgent to do. Then boundaries. We allow ourselves to get conformed into tradition. We allow tradition to confine us. They say you should not be doing it like that. No, you don't do it this way. No, you don't do it that way. What are your boundaries? What security have you put around you? What barriers have you put to protect your heart, to protect your system, to protect the order in your home, such that you decide how things work and not someone who created a rule 100 years ago deciding how things work in your house or in your life. Decide what works for you. Understand your core values and discover it. And then finally, dream, plan. I'm here to say dream out loud, plan. Make sure that you have all of these things. Next slide, please. So now I've also spoken about the struggles that moms have, or some of the struggles. There are definitely probably more. And then in the midst of the discussion, I mentioned some of the things that you can do to navigate these struggles. But now I have pointed out 4 things that you can actually do to ensure that you are on course. I mentioned identity. You have to know who you are, and knowing yourself, knowing your season is important. Identify and honor your season. If you don't know the stage that you are, you won't be able to take action in line with that stage. You have to discover your identity. I have mentioned that, and I keep leveraging that. You have to discover your identity. It is very important to your core. It is important to how you function. It's important to how you live your life. You must build capacity. You heard the coaches envision. Everyone talks about gathering tools. They also have coaches. They also have teachers. They also have helpers. Gather tools for the harvest. The harvest is a continuous thing. You continuously harvest. You don't wait until your child is 30 years old before you harvest. No, your harvest is now. Why? Because your work is now. You work now, you harvest now. You work in 5 years' time, you harvest in 5 years' time. It continues and it compounds. It's the secret of compounding interest. It's not waiting interest. It is compounding, because what? You layer it upon it, and you layer and you layer. And then finally, you set your destination. Where are you going to? Mom, where are you going to? Not where are your children going to. Most of you know what your children want to be in the future, but you yourself don't have an idea of what your future looks like. Where are you going to? Next slide, please. The next slide, we're talking about how do you get there? How do you get there? Now, your how talks about you're investing in knowledge, making sure that where you have to put your money down, you put it. No matter how small, find something that works for you and make sure you stick to it. Develop your mind. It's very important. You have to stay recent. You have to stay updated. Refinement. You need to identify your weak points. It's not just about blocking the weak points. What are those character flaws that you have? And I mentioned leveraging spirituality. You know, I'm a Christian, and I will talk about the Bible when the scripture says you should look in the mirror. So now, where is that gap that you have in your life that you need to close? Is it in terms of putting balance in your life? Is it in terms of establishing a good financial structure? Many of us are highly financially dependent, and we're not even making any effort to change it. What if something happens to your financial provider? Is it in terms of your emotions, like I mentioned before? In terms of your health? Are you under prioritizing your health? Are you taking your health with laxity? In terms of technology, do you understand how technology can help you do things better? In terms of relaxation, do you just work and work and work and not rest? I have been a victim of that. I've been a victim of burnout. I fell down, lost consciousness for a few minutes, and even broke my teeth. So I understand the place of rest. I understand the place of renewal. I understand the place of relaxation. And I'm telling you, Mom, stop trying to be a superwoman. Order your life, arrange your life, and make things work for you. Now, I'll talk about family. Are you building the capacity of your family to be able to provide that support that you need? Are you raising your family to be able to provide that support that you need? And when I mean family, it's not just your nuclear or your extended family. There are people that you embrace into your home as led by the Spirit of God, and will be the support system that you need, because God will not lead you into the wrong hands. Are you being strategic with your networking when it comes to building a support system? Now that fits into the next one, strategic networking. You need to be strategic. You need to powerfully present yourself to be positioned in certain circles that will lift you up to where you need to be. And circles like that is Mother's Haven Network. That's my core message here. And my role is to connect you to experts, connect you to industry leaders, connect you to resources. Okay, I have an issue with this. I'll say, okay, go here. This is where you can find it. I have an issue with that. Okay, study this book. Your secret will be in there. I need this thing. Direction, connection, solutions. Ask for help and get solutions to it. That is what Mother's Haven is about. And finally, where I want us to focus on today is the accountability. You need to get help. You need to get support. If you fall into any of these struggles I have mentioned and you need help, key into Mother's Haven, key into our accountability program, because that is one core aspect that we are launching today. And I am personally going to work with about 3 to 5 mothers who, number one, are committed. I don't want someone who just wants to sleep, and like I said, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. No. You have to be ready to pay the price. You have to be ready to burn the midnight candles. You have to have that desire to be more. And if you know you still want to rest, then yes, it's fine, go and rest. But you know that you'll be answerable to God. You need to understand and seek accountability where you need it. You already have this burning desire in your mind. You have this burning vision in your heart that you want to execute, but you don't know how. You don't know where. Plug into Mother's Haven Network. We're going to put the link in the chat box right now. Media team, please kindly put the link of the WhatsApp group in the chat box and connect today. Send a message, send a DM. We are always available to attend to you. You can check us out on Instagram as well. Send a DM on Instagram. I want to be a part of the accountability program. I was on the call today and I heard things that resonated with me, and I am ready to make a change in my life. I'm ready to be a mother. I'm ready to be a mother who is an example, a model to her children. Because why? She understands herself, she understands her role, and she understands her responsibility. So I'll be working with 3 to 5 women because I understand the power of rest. I'm not going to take more than I can handle. I'm not going to take more than my capacity. I have a 5-month-old baby who I love so much, and I have a toddler as well. And I also have help. I have support system. I have people who support me. And the program is going to run based on the weakest points, the weakest pillars of these 3 to 5 women. You're going to work on the Mother's Haven assessment. The Mother's Haven assessment scores you on the various pillars I mentioned: your finance, your emotions, your finances, every aspect of your life. There are 12 wheels that we focus on: your brand, your networking, everything will work on you based on those 12 pillars. And then after the assessment, we prioritize the 3 weakest pillars that you have. And what do? We have a group coaching session where what we call industry experts. I said we were able to gather these 10 panelists in less than 3 weeks. So you tell me the industry expert, and by God's grace, Mother's Haven will go after them and get them home. And then what? We'll have this consulting sessions. So I know you may have attended a lot of master classes. Mother's Haven is not here to teach you again. No, rather we'll tell you where to go and learn. Imaginary circles there. A lot of courses are out there. We can point you in the right direction. But what you need to understand is that we're here to solve the issues. We are here to provide the solutions. So during these consulting sessions, we are going to lay down those issues and attack it head on. And once we achieve our plan, this and this and these are the solutions we have provided, and this is how we want to execute it, then I would hold you accountable for the next 3 months. So because we understand rest as well, we understand structure, these coaching sessions are going to be bi-weekly. You have one this week until the alternate week before you have another one. Why? We also want to give you time to work on the solutions that you have decided to implement, and then you go ahead and implement it. And then you have an accountability check-in with me, where I'll review what you've done, I'll review what you've worked on, I'll review where you are, provide as many resources as I have available that will help you to progress. And then we also have a weekly progress tracker where we check where you have gotten to. And finally, we have a mom's planner that we'll share with you that can help you to plan for the whole year. Remember, I said we have 12 major areas that every mom needs to work on to be exponential. So now these 12 areas, you will plan for the entire year, picking 3 every 3 months, picking 3 every 3 months. And that way, at the end of the year, you are a super, super exponential mom. Once again, I'm a mom to a 5-month-old and a 3-year-old toddler, and I'm still doing super amazing things. Why? Because I am paying the price, and I am having people who I'm also accountable to. And trust me, when I say I will hold you accountable, I will hold you accountable. All right. So please join the group. On the group, we're going to put in the links. For the price is up there for the early bird is 120,000 for 3 months, and if you wait till the deadline, you will pay the full price. And when I say I will hold you accountable, you can see them saying she will, because they know. Sometimes some people say I appear in their dreams because I am on your matter consistently. It is a passion I have. It is a burden I have. It is a ministry for me. It is a calling for me. And I want you to thrive, and I want you to impact your world. All right. So because we are way behind time, we quickly have to move to the next panel session. Sincere apologies. This call is going to draw a little bit longer than FBCH, despite the fact that we tried to make it short. But I'm trusting God that you will be able to get insights. You'll be able to get learnings from each and every member of the panel staff who will be speaking today. All right. So over to you, the panel, my moderator, Madam Neka. So media team, please can you quickly have a bio if possible? And because of time, you may have to move fast. So we'll be moving straight into Okay.
Hi, good evening.
Good. Okay, Maxine here. So let me spotlight you.
Alrighty. Hello,
Ready?
everyone. Hello, Exponential Moms. Good evening. Such a joy to be here. I mean,
Homemade
it's
Nigerian food business called Nneka Tomilola Adesonya, fondly called
do we have
Kaka,
to read
runs
it?
a
Oh, wow.
thriving homemade Nigerian food business called Super Dishes, where she helps upwardly mobile professionals, busy moms, and families ease the stress of cooking. She also doubles as a food business consultant and principal at Lunch and Learn Food Business Academy, a faith-based food business academy where food entrepreneurs are trained to be kingdom-minded, well-rounded, and grow their food businesses. A customer care enthusiast with over 10 plus years experience, which she gathered while she worked in a telecommunications company as a customer care officer, grew to become a training consultant, now an entrepreneur. Nneka currently serves along with her husband as a co-governor of the Newlyweds and Honeymooners Community Group and the Singles Fellowship at the Covenant Nation Igomu. She is joyfully married with 2 children and lives in Lagos, Nigeria.
Hi, thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. In fact, if you ask me, it's safe to say the very first part, like after everyone was done, particularly I think after Mrs. Knock, thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here. Timmy T, thank you so, so much. I feel like we should just, do the closing prayer or take our closing benediction and just go. Or what do you guys think? It's been explosive. Like every woman has had, in fact, 1 million things to say. If you can see, my notes are full. Like I have written stuff and I'm like, you know what? Let's just call it a day. Can't we just call it a day? Oh, someone says she can't see me. Oh wow. Who else can't see
We
me?
can see it's probably her network.
Okay, probably her network. Okay, all right, great. I mean, Mrs. Knock already gave us, quite a number of structures on what to work with. So as we speak, my sleep time is past. Mrs. Knock, please, I need to follow. My sleep time is past. It's already 8 o'clock. Funny enough, I also get to go to bed pretty early, so I can wake up on time. In fact, my people are also here, which I have to put to bed as quickly as possible. But I mean, I'm happy to be here anytime. Okay, so I think we'll just move quickly, and I have quite a number of amazing women who will be introducing. Okay, so we'll be having Lisa Maxwell. Oh, thank you for stating that. Okay, so we're having Lisa Maxwell, and I'll just read her bio quickly so we can keep it going and we're able to wrap up on time. Lisa Maxwell Aibagwe, best known for her blog Writer's Essence and podcast Revive, is a lover of Jesus. Okay, I see that they are trying to.
Lisa
Okay,
Maxwell
so it's going to come on. All
is
right,
best known
fantastic.
for her blog Writer's Essence and her podcast Revive. She is a lover of Jesus, a wife, and a mother of 3 amazing boys. She is the founder of Moments at Home, a new community which aims to inspire, encourage, and uplift stay-at-home mothers. Lisa is an excellent speaker and communicator thanks to her degree in broadcast media design and technology and a career at a well-known television station where she was a news anchor and a TV producer. Whether you're listening or reading any of Lisa's work, you'll be inspired and motivated to pursue God as well as the purposes God has for you. Her blog, Writer's Essence, and podcast, Revive, are full of insights in balancing motherhood but also maintaining your own identity. A few years back, Lisa decided to be a stay-at-home mother in order to raise her warriors for Christ. This was one of the best decisions she could have taken at the time. Since then, she has discovered the joy motherhood and established her own brand. Lisa is passionate about young women and is determined to help them grow spiritually and become who God created them to be. Outside of the home, she is an active member of a local church and part of the women's ministry, and also provides advice to young girls in the church to love God and follow their God-given passion.
Hi, Lisa, you're most welcome. It's such a delight to have an Exponential full-time mom here with us. I mean, this Exponential Mom conference has been quite mind-blowing, and we're so excited to have Lisa and all the amazing women that are here. I think that one of the things that dropped before I have, is Lisa here?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful. Hi, Lisa. You're most
Hello.
welcome. So
Thank
good
you.
to see you. And well done with all the amazing work that you've been doing so far. I believe that the Lord will continue to multiply and give you grace for so much more. I see that you're an Exponential full-time mom. Can you tell us what it really means to be a full-time mom? I mean, we hear a lot of women say, I'm a full-time mom, and then there is some measure of there's a way people, identify full-time moms and say, this one no get work, especially if you're in Nigeria, all she's just doing is just taking care of her children, taking care of her husband. And I'm here in Nigeria. Which part of the country are you in, Lisa?
So I'm based in the UK, Cambridgeshire.
Oh, fantastic. So it's quite different here. But I mean, these are some of the things that we've heard with how full-time moms are identified. So I'd like to ask you, what does it mean to be a full-time mom? How have you been able to own that identity and run with it?
Well, I mean, being a full-time mom in the diaspora is way different than being a full-time mom back home in Africa. When you're a full-time mom here, let me just say homemaker in general, you're basically doing everything else, the housework, the cleaning, the looking after the children. But that doesn't mean that is where your work ends. I still have time to do stuff for myself. I still have time to, obviously, like I have the blog, I write the blog, I do all those things. So I'm not just sitting down, chilling, putting, watching, series and stuff like that. But no, there's a lot to do, and it can get overwhelming sometimes. So even as a full-time mom, you need support systems, you need help. I think like Timmy was saying, don't be afraid to call for help, because you're not, you're a human, you're not superwoman, like, I'll do everything, and then you end up breaking down. So you need, especially in abroad, you need to leverage support systems. Unlike back home where it's a bit easier to get help and stuff like that, it's a bit harder here. You might have to pay for cleaners to help you once in a while. You might have to, I have my mom who lives in the village where I live, but she's not available all the time because she works. So I would have to schedule time where she can come in and help me with my younger son, when the others are in school. So it's not like I have at my beck and call. So because everybody here has tight schedules, they are working and all of that. So being a full-time mom in the diaspora is a lot of work. It's not, we're not just sitting down there watching TV, drinking tea and all of that.
Enjoying yourself
lazy,
and living the good life.
Enjoying the good life. No, it's a lot of work. You don't even have time to sit down and watch TV, because the TV doesn't belong to you anyways, it belongs to the kids. So you're literally trying to keep up with managing your home, maintaining your home, and making your home a happy place for everybody, for your kids and your husbands. You're basically the homemaker in the heart of the home, really.
Oh, I really love that. I like that you said that, you're able to determine. So from what I understand, you're also able to determine the atmosphere in your home.
Yes.
And that's, that's something, that's a big deal, because I know that I've had moments where, I'm probably so stressed, and somewhat because you're, I like to say the woman is, you have the womb, so you're carrying so many things. So if you come back home and you're all grouchy, that energy spreads.
Yes.
So I love that you've been able to own that identity of being an atmosphere shifter in your home. Amazing. I was about to put in a praise God there, but let's praise God over that. Okay, so one more question before I just, let you go briefly. Can you share with us one of your greatest challenges living in the UK and actually being a full-time mom? What has been your greatest? How long have you been in the UK for now?
Oh, that's a long time ago. I think over 14 years, I think.
Oh, amazing. So did you get married in the UK? Did you?
Yes. Yes.
So you pretty much started your family in the UK.
Yes.
So can you share with us one of the greatest challenges that you've experienced being a mom, being a wife, being a daughter, being everything in between?
I mean, for me, I think I married quite young and at the peak of my career. And when I got married, obviously, I got pregnant straight away. So I did my maternity leave, and I was on maternity leave for a while. Then my son experienced eczema, very severe eczema. So I couldn't go back to work. I wasn't comfortable with leaving him with anybody else because I thought, I need to look after him the way I know. They won't know how to do it. And then, so I think that's the journey that I now became the full-time mom, the stay-at-home mom role. It wasn't planned. I didn't plan it. I didn't even think about it, but it kind of like, fell on me in a way. So then I was okay. Then when I had my second son, not far, I think 2 under 2. Yeah, when I had my second son, that's when the reality kicked in. I started to feel like, okay, what am I doing? I'm just at home, cleaning diapers, cleaning the house, doing dishes, doing laundry. So I started to feel a bit overwhelmed. I started to feel like, there is nothing to my life. There's no purpose. I have no purpose. I started to feel like I was missing out, especially because I just left my career then, and my friends in my workplace then, they were doing great things, traveling and doing this and doing that. Just like, you know what, I'm missing out, and then I started comparing myself to others. So it was a hard time and a hard season to really like settle in that season. I started to feel resentful, and it was not good, for me or for my family at that time. I started feeling like I was losing myself. I didn't find myself anymore. I didn't know who I was. I just thought, am I just going to be a mom and, cleaning diapers and just having kids? And then my husband at that point, he was working away. So I was at home alone for a week, like 5 days, sometimes 4 days. And it was quite difficult then. But we thank God. God is always there, and he was the only one I really held on to him then. And I spoke to my husband. We had conversations, and I think after doing that, I started to really sit back and ask God for clarity and direction. And I realized that he started sending me teachers, I read a book by Heather Lindsay called Silent Seasons, and that really spoke to me at that moment. I was like, okay, this really felt like a silent season because, when I remember when going out and they'd be like, oh, so what do you do? And I'd be like, I don't want to say I'm a stay-at-home mom because I wasn't proud of it then. I wasn't really, and I was like, stay-at-home mom. They'll be like, oh, sorry, you just stay at home. What do you do then? You just stay at home. It didn't have like there was nothing to it, So I'd rather not say anything. I'll just say, I blog once in a while, but I didn't really want to associate that, I'm a stay-at-home mom, because I didn't
feel want to take that ownership.
Yes,
but look at you now.
Purpose, or it wasn't, fancy enough. Like, you're a housewife, so you don't do anything. You just rely on your husband for everything. So that kind of thing. But when I read that book, it really opened my mind, and I started to make decisions to help me. And one of the main decisions I did was come off social media, because I found myself comparing myself with other people, comparing myself with other mothers, comparing myself with this, with that. And it was so unhealthy. And what that did was blind me, cloud me. So I wasn't able to see. I wasn't able to see, I wasn't able to hear, because I had all these feeds, I'm feeding on social media, and I'm getting full of that. But then God is saying, I want to speak to you, but you're not giving me space because you're already full. You've already fed yourself with junk, So I came off.
So you need to have a detox. Beautiful.
Yeah,
you had to have a detox.
I had to do that. I had to come off social media and deal with that comparison that was in my heart. I had to deal with it. And, the Holy Spirit is just beautiful. And from then, I started to really experience the difference. When I came off the social media, I, said, God, it's you and me. We went to fastings and praying. And I started to realize, to show me things and bring people to me that would teach me. And then from that, he led me to a coach. And I think most of us here know her.
So it just feels like so Lisa, I'm just gonna cut you. I'm gonna have to cut you in a little bit. I'm so sorry about that. So we can cover on a few other things. But I like one particular thing that that seems so significant in all of these conversations we've had is coach. And it's about coaching. And I think it's important for every mother who's present here to understand the different seasons that life would bring us. And the Bible says that your teachers will never be far from you. Your teachers will never be far from you. So if I also took anything from this conversation with Lisa, is the fact that she understood that comparison is a thief of time. You were able to identify your weak spots and embrace the new season that God had called you into. I mean, and right now you're living the beautiful life, if I say so myself. But adding to that, one thing that really stood out for me with Lisa is getting to a point where she got content with the life that God has called her into. I believe that for every woman here, we must get to that point. Because half the time it feels like we're not content. I'm looking at a Bisola and I'm saying, hey, Bisola, I need to be like her. And then God is just calling you and saying, I only want you to do this in this season. And then you're running and saying, no, I refuse to be just a blogger, and you're trying to add so much more to what heaven hasn't even endorsed. So thank you so much, Lisa. We still have quite a number of questions, that I believe that participants will send in. And so we're still here for a couple of more minutes. I'm going to be bringing up next very quickly, Bisola Kuku. And I believe the media team would help us, yes. I believe the media team would share her profile with us as quickly as possible. I was sort of distracted by Lisa's beauty. Wow, Lisa, you're such a beautiful woman, I must say.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome, ma'am. Okay, so Bisola Kuku. We have so many beautiful and amazing women here, and I feel like, there's something Mrs. Knox said just before I trust that Bisola Kuku's profile will play soon. Yes, true transformation doesn't happen for free. So I enjoin you all, having listened to all these amazing women, they couldn't have possibly shared everything in 10 minutes. Like, come on, nobody dishes out so much value. Imagine making jollof rice. Jollof rice can't be ready in 10 minutes. To be what? Concussion rice. You get it? But if you're making like some very great jollof rice, you have to, give it time. It has to burn. That's under pots, jollof rice. It has to burn very well. And then, it will taste as good as you want it to. So that's how true transformation is. This year, we're not going to do concussion rice kind of life, right? Yes, and then we're going to do sweet jollof rice, the one from the freezer. It will never work in 10 minutes. It's either it's not, going to get done on time, or, it would not, you wouldn't even get the type of value that. Bottom pot is always the best. This. Oh, these my women, you guys get it. That jollof rice. So did you not totally burn? Rich in taste and everything in between. Okay, so I think I'll just bring.
Bisola Kuku is a specialist management consultant with a global management consulting firm. A role she assumed recently, she leverages her 8+ years experience in the energy industry to provide strategic advice to many of the world's most influential businesses and institutions. She is a passionate believer in the power of education in driving economic development in Africa. This passion, alongside her concerns about the human capital development challenges in Africa, birthed the TUBE Mentorship Program. In its second year, TUBE Mentorship Program aims to make African graduates the candidate of choice for the future workplace. Bisola is married with 2 energetic boys, and it is not unusual to find her spending the weekends building Legos or working through puzzles with her family.
I like that. I love what was said, towards the end, that it's not unusual to find her spending the weekends building Legos and working through puzzles with her family. Hello, Bisola, are you here, please? Can we see your beautiful and radiant face? Can she be spotlighted?
Good evening, everyone. Yes, I'm here. Confirm you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. I'd like to know which part of the world you're reporting from.
I'm in Lagos, Nigeria.
My Lagos, because for so long, we got China, UK.
Literally global. It's a global
with
panel.
With my Lagos sister, we're here together, facing the traffic and encountering Nepal once in a while. Amen. All right, you're so welcome, Bisola. It's such a delight to have you here. I think I'll just get right into it. How have you been able to balance such a phenomenal role as an executive here in fact, I'm having to emphasize being in Lagos and in Nigeria, because I feel like, as an executive here in Lagos, it hits differently when you're, abroad, right? I stand to be corrected, but how have you been able to balance that coupled with, raising two energetic boys and being present for them? How have you been able to balance that?
I mean, that's a good question. And a number of the things that have worked for me, or first, let me start by saying thank you for having me here. I'm actually really delighted to be here. So I'll start by saying that a number of the things that have worked for me are things that a number of the other panelists have mentioned, right? And I will just highlight a couple of them very quickly. So one of it is I'm really big on structure. Right. I'm very big on trying to put systems in place on how things are done, scheduling, planning my days, because ultimately I am not a fan of, so how whenever you Google an image or you try to find an image of a career mom on the internet, most times one of the images, probably top 10 image that will come out is that one of a woman who looks very harassed. She looks very harried. She's juggling so many balls. But in as much as we have all of these dimensions to ourselves, I'm like, no, that doesn't have to be me, right? There has to be a way to actually live an ordered life and still be all of these things. And so structure and order are things that are really, really big for me. And that's what I'm learning to put into practice. I know Tim Tope talked about delegating and outsourcing, making sure you have a support system. And I do that as well. And it's one of the reasons why I am really glad that I'm here in Nigeria, because I hear Lisa talk and I know that it's like a completely different ball game when you are abroad, right? So I do what works for me in terms of the support system that I have at home. I have let go of the fact that I have to do everything by myself. I determine the ones that are most fundamental, the things that I prefer to do by myself, and I do them. All other things I tend to delegate, ask for help, and all of that. And the third thing that I'm learning, I'm sure from my bio, you all probably heard that I took up the role as a management consultant quite recently, like a few months ago.
Oh, and congratulations on that.
Thank you. And it's different. It is really different. And I can almost say that I haven't figured out the balance just yet, because I'm realizing that the systems and structure that worked for me last year when I was in my old job is not necessarily working now. I am making that adjustment. But first, I'm giving myself grace, right? A few things are, would I say, they're not falling through the cracks, but they're not working the way I would like them to. And I'm constantly going back to reassess and readjust and figure out what I need to check. One of the things I've learned is that most challenges that we face, a lot of it is the knowledge gap, which is why you see that many of the panelists have talked about getting coaches to help you close that gap, to show you what you need to do. So I'm still figuring it out. Yeah, I'm figuring it out as well, recognizing that I have just gone through a major change, a major transition in my career. And
sorry, Bisola, sorry, Bisola, sorry about that. Okay, so there was a noise in the background. I think the person has muted now. Please proceed, ma'am. Yes. Sorry about that.
All right, no, that's fine. So recognizing that I've just gone through a major change and then making the necessary adjustments, to come back to that sense where, there is a form of balance, right? Is it a complete balance? Is it complete 50-50? Probably not.
I love
probably
that.
not.
I really love
I'm not striving for that, to be honest. And I mean, we don't even have time to really delve into this whole journey of being a career mom and trying to be present and trying to find some form of balance, or whether that balance actually truly exists, or what that should actually look like. But yeah, it's work in progress. So structure, support system, recognizing when things change and constantly adjusting your life, to do what needs to be done.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much, Bisola, for sharing so freely. I like that, you gave emphasis on giving yourself grace, because, it's amazing that, because of how the different things that we hear today. Yes, I mean, I'm an advocate for getting a coach and ensure you have the right coach for that season, the one who God has handpicked and sent to you, right? So you're not, getting caught up with the, Mrs. Knox said coach, go and look for this coach. You go to that person, go and look for that coach. So you don't end up, being coerced instead of coached, amen? But I like that I like that you shared the importance of grace, of giving yourself grace. And that's really so beautiful to hear. So, you have a particular woman here who is really hard on herself. I mean, I would say this, you have lots of women who will probably leave here, after now and say, with everything that I have heard, am I just, not going to start my life and just begin to run with it? Right? What she had to say to that woman who is really not willing to give herself grace because she realizes that, she has missed quite a number of time, and she's trying to play catch up with it. All right. What do you have to say to that woman?
So, I mean, it's such a deep question. And honestly, I think the first, all right, she's still there. Okay, her video just went off for a minute.
I'm still here. My
no, that's fine.
Thank you.
So let me think about that question for a couple of seconds, right? Because the way I think to answer it is honestly recognizing that God is at the helm of affairs. I mean, and maybe taking it back that way might seem very simplistic, but that is honestly the way it's going to be. And I would use my story as an example. So back at my old workplace, right, there was, for you to kind of get your progression, to get like promoted, you had to spend a certain period of time on the field. This is remote location. You're doing 28 days on the field, 28 days at home. So that would literally mean that I'm away from the family for 28 days. And at this point, when my other colleagues those of us that joined together were trying to, make plans to do this, that was when my husband and I had decided to start trying for our second son. So in fact, I suspected I was already pregnant, but hadn't done the pregnancy test. So all of us were, getting ready to go. And I said, hey, I'm not going. And I remember my manager then, female, understood, and she was like, oh, why don't you? And I'm like, hey, we're trying to have a second child. In fact, I think I'm pregnant. And she was like, okay. She was very supportive. But then she said something. She was like, you do realize that it means your promotion might be delayed because you're not going to meet the requirements. And I'm like, yes, no problem. I understand the implications. But the truth was I was pained. I remember I got home that day and I cried. Right, because she wasn't being mean, she wasn't being unsupportive, she was just stating honest. And then she went on to say that many years down the line, when others see that it took other people 3 years to get promoted and it took you maybe 4 or 5 years, they wouldn't understand that it was because of maternity leave. They might just think, it was a performance issue. And so it's even possible that you would even miss future opportunities. That was how she painted the picture, because she really wanted me to understand what it was. But hey, I was already pregnant. There's nothing I could do. But I was pained, right? Because I thought, hey, missed opportunity, might potentially have an impact on my career and all of that stuff. Now, guys, would you believe that? So this was a conversation we had probably like 2019, because it was about 2019. 2020, an opportunity came up outside of the team that required, and it was going to be a progression, it was going to be a promotion opportunity. I was recommended for it. That opportunity did not require me to have spent time on the field. So I got my promotion a year and a half ahead of even those people
Wow. Wow.
You know, ahead of even those people who were able to complete their field opportunity.
Wow.
Right. And so my point is, and now I remember, and I thank the Holy Spirit for reminding me this. I remember that day that I went home to cry, I actually told God, I said, God, no, that we prayed before we decided to start, trying for a second child. We prayed about the timing. We prayed about everything. And you gave us the go ahead. Like, you gave us the go ahead. So this cannot happen. Like, you can't tell me that this would not only impact an immediate promotion, but also like my entire career. That was literally it. And this opportunity came up and I got it.
Yeah.
So what my point, and I mean, right now, I'm not even in the company anymore. I have moved on. So it didn't matter. Guy, I never even went to the field. I never went for those assignments.
Wow.
Never did.
Wow.
And I have
Wow.
moved on. So my point is, even though it seemed like a missed opportunity, because at that point it was about family, right? Like, it was time to grow the family.
Right.
It ended up not mattering because I trusted the one who was weaving together the details. So my advice to the lady who is, or to the woman who is hard on herself is, at the end of the day, wherever you are, whether you have always stayed at home, and now you think there's so much more you want to do, go back to your Father. He created you, right? There was something that my pastor said in church today that was so profound. He says that God is the one who gives gifts and he never takes it back. So whatever it is that he has deposited inside of you, whether you have acted on it just yet or it hasn't, or it's still latent or whatever, it's still there. So go back to him. Truly ask him what is the blueprint to activate and begin, and then start from where you are, trusting that God will help you redeem the times and he will grant you the speed as necessary, to take you where you need to be. All right,
can
so
we just pass the offering basket? Can I get
yes, please.
Can we please pass the offering basket? And just let it go around. Wow, that was fantastic. Super, super fantastic. And I feel in my heart right now that there's just a woman here. What you need is not even a human coach. You actually need to go back to God, to the author and the finisher of your faith, and have him coach your whole life from start to finish and begin to lead you, because you can get so caught up in the knowledge, in the knowledge frenzy, and feel like, okay, you're missing out, you're not right there. But I'm here to remind you that you are not missing out. I've had those moments, and then those moments in my life where I got pregnant as well with my second child, and I just felt I was missing out. I was trying to grow the business at the time, my food business, and I just, found myself, I hadn't built structure. I didn't, all these beautiful things that all the amazing women are saying, I didn't have any of it. So it was get pregnant, deliver the child, run a business, let it keep growing, and I just felt I had missed out. And, one of the things the Holy Spirit told me in that moment, I went on a retreat with me being pregnant at the time, was you feel like you're late to the party, right? But guess what? Even if you feel like you're late to the party, you're still going to enjoy the benefits of attending the party. So for any woman here who feels like she's late to the party of purpose, she's late to the party of, there's a God that does things in ways that we can't understand. How do you explain Bisola's story? And adding to that, she talked about what she said, what she reminded God when, that moment happened and she realized that it felt like she was going to lose a promotion. What are you saying in the moments of despair? My pastor would say something that, in the moment where you hear that not so great news, what are the words that come out of your mouth? So that moment was very critical to wherever Bisola is right now. And so I just encourage and charge every woman who is here that, the power is in the words that you speak. Every woman has spoken greatly. Now you can now either take the words that they have said and, take them back with you and say, Lord, these women have bettered these words for me. What do I do with them? And begin to declare them. Thank you so much, Bisola. I like the trajectory we're going. Offering baskets is going around. In no time, we're going to begin to anoint people with, fresh oil. Amen. Because we can't finish things like this and you just want to go back to living life ordinarily. I think God would be totally upset. And, no, small chops will come later now, Mrs. Knock. Let offering basket go around. Praise God. All right, then. Thank you so much, Bisola. Please stay with us. We still have quite a number of questions from the participants who would like to ask a few questions here and there. Okay, so we have next coach or next person up will be Idala. Can we please have her profile read very quickly? Thank you so much. We have so many beautiful women. Bisola, you are beautiful. Your skin is glowing, is giving what you should give. I forgot to say that. Everywhere is just shining like the bright and morning star. Bless you, woman of God. Oh, you had a spa. Did you have it alone, please, Sister Bisola? Amen. Self-care. Look at that. Oh, God. Self-care. Awesome. Awesome. And someone here is wondering if self-care is expensive. It's not as expensive. Well, take care of yourself, mommies. All right. Care for yourself. Sometimes go out and just, even if it's a salad or meat pie, go out and eat it if that's what you can afford in that moment, but embrace your seasons and celebrate God over it. We're waiting for a Dallas profile to please quickly come up. Okay, while we're waiting for that, I'd like to hear from women here. How do you take care of yourself? I mean, some people make it, you probably hear self-care and you run and say, spa, 30,000 naira. If I go to Ricky's, how many thousands naira, But how do you take care of yourself? One thing that has kept me going in life is it doesn't have to be expensive to look good. All right? It doesn't have to be expensive to look good. You can enjoy, whatever it is that the Lord has made available for you in that season and enjoy a beautiful life, right? Oh, nobody's telling us the secret of their beauty. But I'd like to hear from a few of us in the comment section. Let me hear from you. How do you care for yourself? What does self-care mean to you? What does it mean to you in the best way that you understand it? We're waiting for, just before Coach Idala's profile comes up. Is Coach Idala here?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm yet to see your video, ma'am.
Okay, beautiful. Idala,
all right.
which
Hello,
literally
Coach Idala. You are
translates
so
father's
beautiful
wealth,
yourself.
is a mom to
It's
four
like the Lord is
handsome
just
boys.
depositing
She's
glory
a chartered
here and here and
accountant,
there.
a
I see
fitness
3
coach, and
fine
an
women
entrepreneur.
today, and
She's
I know my
married to
life
the
is not
love
going to
of her
remain the same
life,
again.
Nicholas,
Praise
and has been
God.
doing life together for
All right.
12 beautiful years.
Okay.
She holds a
So
higher
in
national...
the meantime, while we're waiting for her profile to be read, I would just like to read it here too. I see that Coach Idala is a fitness coach. I mean, giving us those goals, you have to stay fit. She's married to the
She's a
love of
chartered
her life,
accountant, a fitness
Nicholas
coach, and an
Ogufure.
entrepreneur.
By the way, she's a mom
She's
to
married
4
to the love
handsome
of her
boys.
life,
Excuse me, ma'am.
Nicholas, and has been
I don't
doing
even need
life
to read your
together for
profile. We're not even
12
reading
beautiful
anything again.
years.
Please,
She holds a
no,
higher
ma, please talk to us
national
about this, ma.
diploma
4
in...
men. 4 men. You gave birth to 4 men. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So how have you been able to, can I confirm how old they are, please?
Okay, so my first son is 10 plus.
He's 10, so the last one is how old?
The last two they are twin boys. They are 4. They'll be 5 in April. Yeah.
Incredible, incredible. I don't think we should, guys. Ladies, I'm so sorry. With 4 boys and you're able to still remain fit, and I'm sure you have flat stomach. Oh God, some of us like but will not let us be great. Please tell us, what's the essence of staying fit as a mom? In fact, Mrs. Knock is nodding her head like they don't born me well. 4 boys, if I try it. But tell us how you've been able to juggle having 4 boys and staying fit, looking so healthy, ensuring your mind is together and you are sane, you are able to still chase your goals and your dreams. Please, 4 boys. I'm sorry I'm emphasizing this. I really apologize. Over to you, Idala.
I know, I get that a lot. Thank you so much. In fact, this summit, this conference, thank you so much, Coach T. Thank you to the panelists. It's amazing to see Bisola Cuckoos, amazing to see Lisa again, everybody in the same place together. Thank you. It's been such a great time, drawing from all of us, all of super exponential women here. I know I get this a lot whenever people get to see that you're a mom to 4 boys and all of that, and they're just wondering how everything, how I do it. Well, I would say that I've always loved to be. I've always been that a family person. I've always wanted to. I've always wanted to have. I like family. So I guess that's why God gave me. But I really wanted. I didn't think I was going to have like 4 boys. You are thinking economy, and you're thinking my husband wanted to stay at 2, and I always say that maybe I felt like when I lost weight, because my whole story started from and I also feel like every time I had my child, my first child, I always experienced a new version of me. With my first son, I started a business. My very first business, it was a baby store company and all of that. And with my second son, I gained so much weight during that period. I had a miscarriage before then, though. So I gained so much weight before I gave birth to him, and that was in 2015. And losing 35 kg after that,
Say that again.
yes, I lost 35 kg after
Wow.
after I gave birth to him, and I also
As a
almost
whole
came out
human
of.
being.
Yeah, as in yes. And I also had eclampsia during that period, and also my second son also came out on the autism spectrum, and all, so everything was just happening at the same time. And I would also say that when I came out of that experience, the eclampsia experience, there's just a lot of things to say, but I'll just try and say so that every woman will understand that there's a season, and there are times. Every time you go through a season in your life, there's something that God is teaching you out of that season.
Yes, ma'am.
And so after I lost that weight, I stumbled into fitness coaching because a lot of people started asking me how I did it and all of that. So from 2015 to 2017, it was that coaching period, and up until 2018. And like I said, it felt like the over sexiness, because I was so toned. I was so, in fact, that season of my life was like a very, very hot season. I was
Then you now
like a
went
size
and
6.
wow.
I
Wow.
hit a size 6 in that
From
period.
what size? What size were you?
From a size 14, I was
Wow.
14, 16. I could even hit like at 8. I was almost at 18. I was really obese during that period. So I wrote a book out of that condition, and started my fitness coaching and all of that. So it transitioned. I just started transitioning from someone that wanted to, just start a family, but wanted something more. I wanted to start the business, and started. And with my second son, I became a fitness coach, and I just began to, build and, take stock of my life. And just the more I got aware of, okay, what am I doing, and how I was actually impacting people's lives. And I realized that a lot of women wanted to lose weight, but the way the fitness industry is just everybody's just focused on the body, how you are dropping, those kgs and all of those things. So, and I really wanted something more. So, and when I started the fitness industry, and when I came into the fitness industry, I came in with a holistic mindset. I wanted women not just to lose weight in the body, but also start from the mind. Like
Wow.
that's where I am a holistic fitness coach. I'm not just a fitness coach. I am very mindful about how you lose the weight, because I believe that every woman is in the season. That's something that I really align with in the Exponential Woman's values. Like you need to understand your season, you need to understand where you are, and do something that suits where you are, but
Right.
make sure that you are not just thinking about just your body. Oh, I want to lose my baby weight, I just want to lose the weight, and you just end up being tossed everywhere by every wind of doctrine, telling you to do this, telling you to do that. So having having 4 boys and getting to do this has been amazing because I've understood my seasons. There are seasons where I had made, like I said, during the 2015 to 2017 period, I was in Nigeria. I had, in fact, there was a time we had 2 helps, when I had 2 boys, because then I was, focusing more on the career, the fitness
Now,
part.
where are you based now, Idala?
I'm in Accra. I'm actually transitioning. I always tell people that I'm transitioning because I'm not really based here where I'm moving. But
okay, great.
but now I'm currently in a different land with my 4 boys by myself, and everything that you have heard about, structure, time management from Mrs. Knock, from everybody, every speaker here is real. You need to understand what your season is and what works for you. And that's one of the reasons why I actually stopped group coaching and zeroed into one-on-one, because I believe that every woman is different, every woman is unique, and what works for somebody will not work for you as a mom that is trying to want to lose weight, so that you don't start what every other person is doing and you fall off the wagon, fall off the track, and because you are trying to compare yourself, like Lisa spoke about, when people tend to, you just see on social media, you're just scrolling through the streets of social media, and you're looking at how this person is losing weight here, or the stories of people who have lost weight, and you're just like, subconsciously it enters your subconscious, because your mind subconsciously, you don't know how these things affect you, and you begin to internalize certain things. So you need to know what works for you, what is going to work for you. And that's how I have been, that's how I literally have been able to cope with managing 5 men in my life, because the man, the husband is is a big baby. And it's been amazing.
Totally
It's been an amazing
understandable.
journey of uncovering and discovering yourself as you go along.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that time with us, Idala. That has such a beautiful, I'll say, summary of your whole life, giving to us. And I like that you particularly said something about wholeness. I like that you're able to address weight loss from the point of being whole. You're looking at their mind, you're looking at their soul, you're even connecting them to so many other things that can help, you grow. Because I know that lots of women have been through the struggles of what we hear. We just see before and after, and like, okay, before and after 4 weeks, you see the next person again in 8 weeks, they are back to the size they were. But I like that your approach is, quite holistic. Another thing that Idala said that I would want us to, keep close and dear to our hearts is to take stock of your life. How often do we sit back to take stock of our lives? And that's something I think I would even really do again tomorrow, because, sometimes you just get so busy with life, and you're about your progress, you're about your achievements, you're about the setbacks, you're about your challenges, that you really don't sit down and take stock and say, okay, I've actually done something here. What can I do to, be better at it? Thank you so very much, Idala. And I applaud your immense ability to be able to take care of your 4 boys all by yourself, where you are. In fact, your 5 boys, so to speak. That's something really, admirable. I think before I just let you go quickly, I just have one question for you. So how have you been able to also raise your children to eat healthy? I know that quite a number of mothers have this challenge where, particularly with my children, they're not big on carrots. My son will tell you, he tells you, I don't want it, So I just try to figure out how to incorporate it into their meals, either blend, or just hide it somehow. But how have you been able to, I want to believe that you have children who are also as fit as their mom and who are mindful of what they eat. So have you been able to do that for a mom here who's trying to figure it all out? Have you been able to do that briefly?
Okay, so my biggest way to attack that question is, first of all, I know that, okay, let me attack it from the point of view where the mom is, you are here now, your child is struggling to eat vegetables, but the first time you can actually actually correct that is when you have when you before the child is born, because statistics has shown that when the child is in the womb, the taste bud begins to form from 20 weeks, and while you are
Interesting.
pregnant with the child 20 weeks. So it is from you that the child learns everything that they learn.
Ah,
So if you do not model it to your child, they will not be able to eat it even from utero. So so it's very, very important. And if we have missed that part, there's always there's another level of modeling where physically you have to be the one to eat it. Children will always not do as I say and not as I do, right? Or how do we put it now?
right.
You have to actually model it. You have to be that person that is eating that carrot with them, and you're like, yum, 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 delicious. And that's how we got them to eat tomatoes, got them to eat lettuce, because it's a family thing. Like I said, I'm a family person. If I'm doing it, my husband is going to be doing it, and everybody's going to be
Right.
doing it, literally praying and coercing them and making it fun also. And just it's that's how it goes. You have to model it. Modeling it is very, very key. I know that there are the tricks of trying to blend it in, trying to grate it in. That's another way. But you just have to also try to make it presentable, make it fun,
To
make it
them.
like, and the way we eat, take the ice cream and other junk foods.
You
you
have
know
to make them want
you
to take it too.
exactly,
I love it. I
exactly.
love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much, Idala. It's been
Oh,
such a
welcome.
pleasure having every one of you here. Thank you for even waiting till this time. Okay. All right. So we're gonna bring our last speaker right now, who is impressing of a woman, Lola Abegunde. Idala, please be on standby because I believe we have a few questions that would like to cover. So we have about 10 more minutes, and then we'll call this a wrap. So I'd like to welcome Ewoma Lola Abegunde. Is she here? I know she is. Ewoma is one amazing singer, some beautiful woman with a beautiful soul that I really love and admire. Okay, we're waiting for her profile to come on. Yes, I see. And Ewoma is our
Abegunde is a marketing strategist, promoter, and distributor with almost a decade experience in the movie industry, both international and local. Awoma has cut her teeth with several movie titles like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, No Time to Die, James Bond, Fast and Furious, John Wick, among many amazing movies. With a desire to see the nations experience the gospel of God's kingdom in the creative space, Awoma partnered with God in launching the Global Kingdom Film Festival, a festival for filmmakers who are passionate about engaging and shaping culture for the kingdom using the medium of film. Awoma is a minister who is passionate about giving hope to lives, which is evident in her music. She is also a vivid writer, taught from the Diary of My Heart. In 2020, she released a book with the same title on Amazon and Akada Books. In 2022, she released Prayer Kits for New Moms and co-authored Affirmations. She is the anchor of the Instagram live show, Fun and True Facts Behind the Songs We Sing. She has interviewed quite a range of gospel ministers like Joy Dixon, Eloha Fimra, Samuel Potsu, Agaga, amongst many amazing song ministers. Her musical works include Favored, which features Miracle Walker, Oseme, More Than Christmas, I Am Free, Beautiful Is Your Name, and many more. She works and does background vocals for Sinach. She's also the founder of a thriving community known as the Inspirational Sisters. This is a community of inspiring women on a mission to fulfill their God given purpose. This inspiring haven has aided women in discovering and living purposefully. In 2022, as a community, they released their first book titled Affirmations. Awoma is happily married to her best friend and purpose partner, whom she fondly calls Bonify, and they are blessed with three inspiring children. Some of her favorite words are "You're enough," Follow and stay connected with Aroma on social media at Aroma.
Beautiful. Welcome, Ewoma. We're super excited to have you here. And it's so beautiful to see you again, sister. Okay, so very quickly, Ewoma, I see how beautiful God has brought you this far. How have you been able to? My question sounds, oh, I hope you can. Can you hear me? Hello. Can you hear me, please?
All right. Hello. I think. Mama, can you hear me? Okay, so please let me know in the chat box if we can hear me. Can you see and hear me? Okay, awesome, awesome. I think she's back. Awesome. So yeah.
Hi,
It's a delight.
how are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. And thank you so much for making it here, and sincere apologies for keeping you out this late. It's a joy to have you here. Okay. Time. Our moderator is back. I think my question to you will be basically, how are you to do all of this wonderful things, especially with ministry? So from the angle of being a ministry mom, I would like you to shed some light on how it's motherhood. What are things that you can highlight that really helped you to be all of who you are and still thrive amongst your multiple expressions?
Thank you so much, Tokwe. Good evening, everyone. I'm just super delighted to be with us on this platform. It's been a long journey getting to this point, and so super congratulations to you, Tokwe. I'm super proud of you, and God gets all the glory. So tonight, one of the things that was laid in my heart to share from the angle of betting and thriving as a woman is the pain of relapse. The pain of relapse. And that is really what I want to stress on tonight. Because sometimes as women, we start up a vision, we put out everything that has been given to us. But in the course of going on the journey, there is that moment where you now break down. And then it seems that, the vision and what God has called you to do is no longer looking like what God has told you. And then there is now that pain of relapse. And that is one of the pains that, I have experienced, because in betting the different things God has given to me, there has been moments where it had to come to a stop, probably because of the encounters that I had with the persons and the people that I am leading. So for example, the one of the platforms that I am running by God's grace is the Inspirational Sisters. And I remember that vision came the moment I lost one of the pregnancies, and that was how that vision started. But in the course of carrying out the vision, so many things happened. And then I just told God, you know what, Father, I am no longer interested in this vision you have called me to do. But then, and that was a pain of relapse. But come 2020, God had to wake us back and say, look, you know what, you need to go back to that vision. And so you might be a mom tonight that have listened to everyone, they've spoken, they've shared their heart and everything. And then maybe in the course of carrying out that vision or that assignment God has given to you, you have said you're no longer doing. So tonight, I want to say that from your pain of relapse, God can still bet something out of it. God is a God of second chance. In fact, He's a God of many chances. So if you're on this call tonight as a mom who once started with a vision, but along the way, you missed it. Along the way, it got aborted. Along the way, it got truncated. Along the way, it felt like, you were not reaching the target. God is saying that go back. From that, your pain, something else can come out of it. A miracle can come out of it. And that is my own experience, because after many years of letting go of the vision, 2020, COVID-19 came up and it was saying it was time to go back. And in going back, He had to expose me to teachers that I had to go submit myself onto, to go unlearn, relearn, so that I can go back on the vision. I can go back on the journey. Because like Moses got the vision about, redeeming the children of Israel, but he took laws into his own hands. And then he went to the backside of the desert. But after much schooling from the backside of the desert, he was able to launch forth at the age of 80. So it doesn't matter if you've started your vision. It doesn't matter if, in the course of carrying it out, you encountered challenges. God is saying from those encounters, go back to the vision, go back to the drawing board. And so I had to subject myself to teachers. And one of the teachers I submitted myself to that period was Coach DDK, Immense Inner Circle. And having that encounter, I was able to see the lapses. I was able to see where I did not get it right. I was able to put structure in place. I was able to refine the vision. So the truth is, when God gives us a vision, there is always room to refine it. There is always room to go back and sit back and say, okay, where am I missing it? Where do I need to treat it? And, the moment you get that right by subjecting yourself to teachers, and then you obey, because obedience is another key that also helped in just, thriving. So it is very key that, you apply that key of obedience. When God says, you know what, go back to the vision. The moment you begin to obey God, ladies, the moment you take that step of obedience, guess what? It begins to open up other doors, other layers. All God is just expecting for you is to just say yes. And in saying yes, He opens up that door. Because the moment I said yes to God, I said, okay, God, I'm going back to this vision. Guess what? As I made myself available to teachers, it was within 3 months, I launched my first book. Within 3 months, the Inspirational Sisters came back. And this year, by the grace of God, so we're going to be 3 years. And in the course of those 3 years, I know, just saying yes to God, applying that key of obedience, opened so many channels. Job opportunities came. All these things, working with multinationals and handling different movie projects, it was just a result of saying yes to God. So it doesn't matter what, if that vision had encountered some obstacles on the road, you can go back and start all over again. And then there's something else God has said I should just lay in our heart today, is that your pain is not necessarily for you alone. I will say that again. Your pain is not necessarily for you alone, because sometimes God wants to take that pain to trigger more things on your inside. Through your pain, He wants it to be a blessing to other people. So don't think you're going through that process for your own sake. No. And then secondly, your pain is never wasted when God is involved in it. Your pain is never wasted when God is involved in it. God wants to take that pain to unleash, to just unravel other things inside of yourself. And I think the fourth thing I'm going to add to it is that there's a power of affirmation. And that is why one of my favorite words is that you are enough. The power of affirmation. Listen, sisters, you need to get a blueprint from God. And that blueprint is the word God has given to you. Because even when you go on in living out that vision, obstacles will still come. But what will keep you going is the blueprint. It is the word, the code you have gotten from God. That is what will keep you going. Even when people do not understand it, even when people they don't share in the enthusiasm of your vision, what will keep you going is the blueprint and the word that God has given to you. And I think the last thing I'm just going to add that has really helped me is to embrace your unique journey. We are all mothers, yet I celebrate all the wonderful women that have spoken so far. Like everybody just brought different layers. But guess what? We all are not on the same journey. We all are not on the same journey. There is a path that God has cut out for you. Embrace that journey. And as you embrace that journey, God will show you the blueprint that you need to apply on that journey. And in applying that, in those blueprints, you become a blessing to the community. You become a blessing to the people that God has called you to. Amen. Amen.
Wow, 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 wow. Can we just give it up for all the prophetic instructions that we have received here today? I really apologize that my video cannot come on right now. According to Mrs. Nock, please, I'm big on structure now. I've structured my life. All my children are, I have one who is awake and I'm trying to get her to sleep. So please just permit my video being off at the moment. We have been thoroughly blessed by literally everyone. And I know that quite a number of you have questions, but some part of me feels like almost every question here has been answered by every woman that has spoken. So there's something for one woman here to pick. There's something, did I say something? There are too many nuggets for you to run with, right? But most importantly, there's a coach of all coaches, and his name is Jesus. And I'm saying this to as many of us who are here who probably, are not taking this Jesus matter seriously. See, Jesus is everything. And I'm just here to charge and to encourage that woman who feels like, you know what, I'm not sure about this Jesus. I love him. I'm happy that he died for me, but I'm not big on it. I need you to be big on it in this moment and take Jesus more seriously. I mean, testimony of Ewoma is enough to tell us that there's so much, progress in obedience. Right. And, there's so much that we have learned from here. So I charge every woman, even if our walk with Jesus is like the greatest of it, I charge you that if you feel that you have drank enough, there is more. Praise God, there is more. It goes from the ankle level and it goes up to the knee level, and then it goes up to the loin. So there's so much more that we can drink in God. And I believe that's the essence of having communities that can, build you up and help you grow in your walk with God. Praise God. So I'm not sure that, I think that Coach T is here, and I would like to confirm from her if it's okay for us to close, or if she still has, one or two, closing charges that she'd like to give to us. Please, guys, join the community. There are too many women here. Bisola Kuku, Idala, Lisa Maxwell, a woman has spoken, Mrs. Nock has spoken, our keynote speaker, Mrs. Deborah, has fired us. See, what music? Play your music. If it's Tumba that you know how to play, do it. Let it play in the way that people will understand. You've been sent to people. You've been sent. You're not just sent to your children. I'm not just sent to my two kids. Like, it feels like I'm living averagely. If you think about it, you are sent to plenty people. So even if it's only a community of 2 people is enough. And that's the dimension I am. I told God, I said this year, if it's only one person that shows up for that thing that you assigned me to do, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it regardless. I mean, I imagine how them Apostle Paul and the likes of them lived their lives. They were unashamed. They could not be bothered. It was just all about God. And if we made it about him, I think life would be more beautiful. Thank you so much, Coach T, for putting this together. We pray that, the Lord would bless and increase you and continue to give you utterance. I believe you have 1 or 2 things you might want to say before we just, wrap it up in prayer.
Okay, thank you so much to all our panelists, our keynote speaker, everyone who has been here from the beginning up to this very end. It was supposed to be a 2-hour, 30-minute session, and we've been here for 3 hours, 30 minutes. And I would not want to take any more of your time. I just want to admonish us to take action, no matter how small. Even in your place of waiting, still build capacity, read a book, listen to teachings, just identify your teacher and learn. That's all I beg of you. It's not so much to do, just a little action consistently every day. Identify your uses and push. And God bless you. As many as willing to join the network, please click on the link that will be dropped in the chat right now, and then more information will be passed on the group. And if you also have questions, it will be answered on the group, and then we'll also put the answers on the Instagram page at Mothers Haven Network as well. So thank you so much, everyone. I truly appreciate you. I honor you, and I really won't take this for granted. God bless you. So over to you, Ma.
God bless you so much, Kotemi. Your smile is beautiful and may it remain so for the rest of the year. A big shout out to Mrs. Knock. In fact, right now, I don't even feel like an exponential mom. I'm also an MC, by the way. I compare events for a living, apart from running a thriving food business, and I take delight in giving voice to every event. Beyond that, I'm happy that I can, share joy in the most significant or in the most simplest ways that I can. Thank you all so much for joining us today. We look forward to more coaching sessions like this. And like I would leave on this note, remember that you have music playing on your inside. Play it in any way that you like to. And guess what? The world loves it anyways. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Mrs. Knock. God bless every one of you. I pray that the grace of God will never depart from everyone in the name of Jesus. And most importantly, we'll never get to a place where we feel like we don't need God or where we feel like we have arrived. We would never get there in the name of Jesus. Father, we give you praise and we thank you for the success of today's event, for the sacrifice we've been able to, put in. We ask, oh God, that these words will stay with us. It would trigger us from glory to glory in the name of Jesus, and the name of God will be glorified. The anointing upon our lives will be quickened in the name of Jesus. Thank you for all the coaches. Anoint their lips, grant them graces on different dimensions, open doors for them. Oh Father, let every of their projects be born out of favor this year. And in the name of Jesus, we declare that this year, for every brand represented, we pray by the mercy of God that everything that will be spoken about your brand this year will be that you have been marvelously helped by God. In the name of Jesus Christ, we give you all the praise, oh God. In Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen and amen. Thank you all. Have a good night. Bye.